Apparently we are live. Or I am. I'm waiting for Drew. Let's see. Check my channel out. Just want to make sure this is coming through. Yep. Nice shot of my keyboard. Don't know if I will. Don't know if I'll keep this up or not. We'll see. This won't be here forever. I just want to go over a few things. So let's see. Just waiting on Drew. Hey, ALD, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm safe. Just been having to run around and do things and work from home a bit. Come back to my office. So everything so far so good. Let me let Drew know that I sent him an invite. Let him know it's a hot mic coming in. And my air conditioner just kicked on, so that's a good thing. Just wanted to have a little discussion today. Get to some drawing a bit later. Some stuff that well, I need to clean down my keyboard here on my laptop. Oh well, I can wait. So hopefully everybody is well. Oh, Drew says he's got a setup. So it's just me and you against the world. Let's see. I'm going to go over, check Twitter out. Not much happening. Dum dum da 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 da. All right, so I don't usually monitor. Hey, Lloyd. Good morning. Some art will be coming. I want to talk to Drew a little bit when he gets here. See what he's been dealing with. A few things I've been working on that maybe I'll launch. Well, one thing. Maybe I'll launch it. Maybe I won't. I don't know if there's... I really don't know if it's worth trying. But I guess I don't know that until I try it, as the saying would go. Having my morning... actually, Duncan has has become my coffee of choice for like the past 6 months now. They're putting something in it. They're putting something in it. I can't shake it. I shaked it for 10 days. Then I needed I forget. I got it with, see, when they put the flavoring in, sugar free is just you order it. But if you say swirl, they put the sugar in. So I was trying to cut the sugar out again, and they accidentally gave me a swirl. And I pulled out and I got down the road and took the first sip, and what can I tell you? So how's everybody been? Good, I hope. Oh, there's Drew. All right, let me pop him in here. Good morning, Drew.
Hey, what's up, John? How are you doing?
Let's see. Is it my volume or yours? Oh, it might be mine.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It was my laptop volume was turned down. Lloyd's stressed out.
Who?
Lloyd in the chat.
Oh, why?
I guess because of all this virus stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm stressed as well. Everybody is, I think.
Yeah, I'm just for me, it's just been a matter of staying home for the reason that I'm the only one that drives in my house, and my mom will be 93 on April 10th. Nice drawing.
So you have to take care of everything?
Well, yes and no. Yeah, that I like the way that's coming out a lot. You gonna color that?
Yeah, right now,
All right.
trying to, I guess, build up a little capital now that comics aren't being printed.
Right.
So kind of dried up work a little.
Yep.
You can't get paid if they're not being made.
Right.
So I still have some gigs. Well, I have one that doesn't deal with comics. It's a small one, but it's something, with this whole stimulus bill thing. It doesn't really help freelancers very much.
Well, what I don't understand about it, it says every American will get like $1,200. Every adult American.
Yep, that filed in 2018.
Oh, okay. Well, my wife and I filed jointly because she was not working in 2018.
Yeah. Well, I know that is for joint couples, as long as you don't make over 100 and
I'm safe.
You get 2,400 and then 500 for each child.
Yeah, we have one, so
yeah, so you should get like 2,900 or something, which is nice. I'm not complaining, but if this lasts more than 2 months, I don't know how that's really going to help anybody.
Yeah, it's around just barely, not even a month's runway.
Yeah, it hits me just at a month.
Right.
So, it's nice. Like I said, they won't take my house as quickly because they didn't put any kind of mortgage deferral or mortgage freeze in there.
Right.
So we still have to come up with mortgage payments regardless.
Did you call the bank and talk to them directly?
We're waiting for this bill first to go through to see what kind of Like we would hate to do it ourselves if it's already a law.
Right.
So now that I know that it's not, we're gonna have to, I believe, because I unless I can magically make the comic industry start again.
Well, if you can I have a job?
Yeah, I know. It's well, I don't think Marvel and DC are gonna worry too much about it. I mean, they have capital. Like as in when the comics start, they'll just start making them again. I don't think like with their parent companies being billion-dollar into like companies.
Right.
I don't really foresee them stopping anything like behind the scenes.
No.
But everyone else is just fucked right now. Oh, sorry for the language. It's really early, but there's nothing like that they can do, and I get it.
Yeah, no, I've been dealing. Luckily, I got it. I talked to my. In fact, you've probably been getting emails too, maybe from some of your lenders or something, like on my car payment. And I meant to call them because I had a car payment coming up, which I could make. And I went like a day over when I called. I looked it up online. I'm like, all right, let me make this payment, and then I'll talk to them about what they have to offer, because they had some stuff. And I put a tweet out about it. It was Ally Auto. They were able to go 4 months, and they just said, you don't need to pay this month. So I was like, well, I can do that payment and then go the 4 months, but I don't think they wanted to do that. I think they wanted to just write off this month.
Well, they probably get some sort of incentive from the government for doing that.
That could be.
Like, then they get the earned interest back.
Right.
And then when you start paying, it doesn't matter. They just add 4 months to your term.
Yeah, I think those payments just go on the back, and they accrue more interest, of course, than.
Yeah, but I think they probably have a government thing that goes, hey, we'll pay you the deferred interest. And they get that money, yay, for free.
Right.
So yeah, I have one of them that said something like that. But the other one, Wells Fargo, because I have 2 cars.
Mm-hmm.
Wells Fargo has not offered anything other than, hey, we're open. So if you want to make a payment, we can still do that. That's like, thanks, man. I appreciate the kindness in your horribly worded email of insincerity. Thank you.
Right.
The other place called and left a message and was like, just a robo call, but it was like, hey, we understand things are jacked up, but if you need to defer, contact us before it's too late.
Yeah, and I don't get that. What do you mean before it's too late? Before they stop doing it,
before they stop collecting interest for free and offering to do it.
That could be.
So we'll probably try and get the one. If we can get them both deferred, that would be wonderful. If we could get our mortgage deferred just for even a few months, like 2 or 3 months, that would be great.
Right.
Because I think in 2 or 3 months things will start moving again. Because I still have like 3 issues left to draw of this comic.
Right.
And things will start moving again, and maybe I'll we'll start getting paid again. That would be great.
And I hadn't streamed, and like I said, I've just been busy trying to get things organized as much as I can, which is a lot of work, and then trying to do other work on top of it. My wife is a waitress, so I think it's she hasn't worked for a week now, and what they did, I think it was on a Wednesday here in Florida, the governor said, you can still do business as usual. Your restaurants can be half the capacity. If you use like a booth thing, it'd be like every other booth you can sit somebody in. the 6 feet rule, all that. And that lasted for like a day. And then they came out the next day and it was like, no dine in, everything has to be for pickup or a drive through. So that's what we've been dealing with also.
Yeah. Well, my wife is lucky. Where she works has been booming because she works, she does contract processing for real estate closings and refi.
Oh, and, yeah. Right now, they're probably swamped.
Yeah, because all the rates have dropped to almost nothing. So everybody wants to refinance and close on their houses.
Well, see, my mom and I, the house we're in, we just went through that. And our first payment was supposed to be next month. So, well, I told my mom, I said, she always wants me to call. And I said, no, Mom, you're going to be 93. You call. You're the one that, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I let her play the old 80 card,
Do whatever you have to do, man.
And, but, she was on hold yesterday for over an hour and then finally it just cut her off. And I'm thinking, yeah, the problem is like, she still gets her Social Security check, but I pay for everything else around the house, so me, I've lost out on conventions that have been shut, which is, a nice part of my income, or at least it has been for the past few years.
Yeah.
That's something though, that at the end of last year, I really thought about, and it was kind of odd because I had, I think I told you before, and I think I've told the stream, it's like at the end of the year, I don't have any work to show per se, Yeah. And that was really bothering me. And I just would feel like I'm burnt out from all the travel,
That does happen. That's, I used to do a lot of shows, but the past couple of years, I kind of like you, I was still doing comics as well, and other things, but that con wear and tear on your body, sucks. And I also, like you said, I wanted to have more to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of years ago, I made the commitment not to do too many shows, just do the ones I really like. If I get invited to a few here and there, as long as they're like a month or two apart,
right?
I'll do it. But I've limited what I do. Just like I always do the juice and the squeeze analogy, because if I can make more sitting at home, then that's what I'm gonna do. Plus, I get to see my family. I don't get beat up by shows. Because shows are, man, they're like, people don't understand. Like, when they go to shows, it's like all fun and games, and it's still tiring, I'm sure, walking around and such. But we're there 12 hours a day, and it's not to hang out. Which right. It is. We're working, and then a lot of us who are working artists, we have to go right back to the hotel room and then continue working.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's not even on commissions; it's on pages you have to get done.
Back in the day, I tried that. I would always bring a couple of pages to ink on at the room, and I found that I just didn't do it, so I quit doing it.
Yeah, it sucks. I try not to, but what I usually do is I give whoever my editor is a heads up, and I try and give them at least a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, like, I'll set a goal, like this. If I get to this page, and then I'm going to be gone for like 3 or 4 days, and will we be fine? And if I get a yes, or sometimes I get somebody who goes, well, if you could possibly get to this one, then I'm fine. So like, I've had to take it and actually, how you usually get there a day early.
Right.
And I'll turn in that last page on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if it's like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I'm like, look, here's that page. And I always say this, I'm like, and I want to remind you I'm at a show. Like, like as in, hey.
Right. Yeah, if you see a picture of, well, back then they really, or I don't know how long ago this was, but I've heard of some people that are late on books and their editor sees them in a picture at a show and then they get like really aggravated.
Yeah, I'm generally not late.
No, I know. I'm just saying, and you don't remember this, but going back probably in the late 80s, early 90s,
yeah,
Marvel and DC both put forth this thing, and it's like, look, we're freelance, we're not your lapdogs or whatever, but they were like put out, they sent a letter around, like both companies, I guess they had the same idea. It's like, you have to get permission to attend a convention from us.
I can see that because they have invested a lot of their money into whatever you're doing. I mean, it's not just your pay. It's, they have to put the stuff in previews. They do, like people are expecting it to be out a certain day. And
well, but here's the deal with that though. The letter, that letter is, they're not treating people like, and I mean, there are cases where I would have to agree. They're not treating people like grown-ups and or professionals that know how to handle their time.
Yeah, I guess it's because they're burned so much. Because you got to remember, man, a lot of these people who are, I'm going to say, quote unquote, comic professionals have never worked a real professional job in their life. So they've never had to be accountable to anybody or work through chain of command.
Right.
They just go, hey, whatever, you don't owe me, bro. I'm just not feeling
but that's my point. It's true. It's like, when I got the letter, I'm like, as long as I'm not late and I can make a show, I'm not going to, I'm not going to ask mommy and daddy for permission.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, they have every right. They could say, well, you know what? You're not on the book because you didn't ask for that. But as long as you're not late, they don't really,
They shouldn't care.
Right. But it was really weird. And I think it didn't last long because I think most everybody rebelled against it and said the same thing, that, look, we work for you. You don't own us. If we're on time, if we're not a problem person,
yeah,
it's like, we're not going to come to you with everything we do and say, hey, is it okay if I go shopping today? I'm going to be gone for about 3 or 4 hours.
I always say that's the contrarian mentality. Like, as in, like, when we all do it, I do it too, but it's, you have to think that letter's not for you.
Right.
And if it's not for you, then why are you so upset?
Right.
But people do. They're just like, well, I'm going to stand with you, bro. We're all going to be angry together. and it's like, well, no, your friend over there is late 90% of the time. He can go suck it. He's the problem. He's why the letter happened.
Now, I pulled up. Let's see. Let me. How do I do this? It's been a while. Okay, I pulled up your store because I wanted to show people what you're doing in case they didn't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm
doing pretty much one headshot commission.
Okay, and that would be this option.
Yes. I didn't save it. I thought I edited that. I'll do that now. But when one's done, I'll do another one. So if you go there and it's sold out, that means that I'm doing one. And when I finish one, I'll open it. Somebody already got one. So that one should be sold out right now.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure of. This Cobra Commander?
No, it's not. That's just an example.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering, because I just now noticed that I could do this little carousel.
Yes, they're all headshot commissions. Oh.
And you should maybe write on here that, what's shown is samples only, because people may think these are things that you have available.
Yeah, they asked, but if you look at the description, it says 9.5 black and white character of your choice.
Right.
Colors and all. Like, if people can't read,
they can't.
I know they can't, but like, if they really want it, they have to. I'm sorry, but you have to read.
I make signs of rates and my signature fees and stuff for conventions, and people come up and go, "Hey, how much are you doing sketches for?"
Yeah, because they work on that id, right? Is it the id that just doesn't think about things and just blurts out stuff? Like when something bad happens, you immediately go to the worst, and is that your ego? I don't remember, your super ego. No, it's your id. So the rest of your body's trying to figure out what to do, but your dummy self gets stressed out because you're not really thinking. You're
Right.
going on gut reaction. There,
Right.
pictures are just examples. If you refresh that screen, it should all change because somebody's already bought. Apparently, somebody has already bought that. They bought a black and white, and
Okay, so
I'm
now
not going
it's
to say
out of
who it is, but they're
Right.
getting Hawkeye smirking. So I may do that live. Yeah, it's out of stock.
Yeah,
There you go.
I see now it says out of stock. So
Yeah, so this way, I do one, get it out the way. No one has to wait. I can still do the commissions that I owe.
right.
I still have pages to do. And like I said, I have one thing, so I can kind of moderate that, as in I need the extra money for bills.
Understood. Yeah.
But I also don't want to overcommit myself with, and I want to be fair to everybody. I don't want to take all these commissions and not get them done in a year. That Evangelon I just did, that guy got that yesterday. It's done, so I opened it up again, and in the process, I also got a few other ones done. So, like, I got the Kitty Pryde penciled, and the Two-Face inked, and this Hulk penciled inked, and it'll be colored today. So, to hopefully people understand that, like, I'm only doing this because I have to.
Right.
We're all in different boats, but we're kind of in the same ocean. So, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. It's like, and I understand that, the people that would normally be able to commission, they're in the boat too. They're in the boat of survival. So
yeah, luckily a lot of places here are still open. And a lot of people I know are working from home, like people who have I don't want to say desk jobs. I guess desk jobs is the proper term. It's not derogatory in any way, right?
No.
But people who have like desk jobs, a lot of my friends I know, and then some of them are being who have contract work with the military. They're still getting paid. They're just at home.
Okay.
And if they can work from home, they are. So I mean, it's dire for some of us. And it's not great for them either. I mean, I'm sure they'd rather be like in the office working. They'd like to have toilet paper too.
Well, that's probably the only place they can get it is at work. They should stock up and bring a roll home.
My wife is a toilet paper hound. Like, she can find it.
Yeah.
So she gets toilet paper once a week. We already had, luckily before all this started, I had bought 2 cases just because we were running low. It had nothing to do with but I saw a thing when I went to go get it. There was a sign that said limit 2 per customer. So I was like, I'll get 2 then.
Right.
I didn't know what was going on. So when I got home, my wife was like, "Did you get toilet paper?" I was like, "Yeah, I got 2 cases, which is about 90 some rolls."
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, good, because it's sold out everywhere." And I was like, "Really? It wasn't when I went this morning, but that afternoon it was already all gone." But my wife's been getting 2 or 3 cases every time she goes. But she goes at like 6 in the morning before work. And she's usually first in line. And our grocery stores are only letting 10 people in at a time.
I don't even, well, I have to clarify, but I want to say hello to Ron first. He came in. How you doing, Ron? I put you up on just solo, Drew, since I'm just kind of talking because, like I said, I also developed a pinched nerve in my upper left neck back, and yeah, I think it was from holding. You know how you take your cell phone and you hold it with your shoulder.
Yeah.
I had a few calls and I did that for like a day straight, and the next morning I noticed I had this and it's lasted like a week, and it's finally beginning to like work its way out, I think.
Oh, that's good. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Oh, it was the first day I was like, I could barely move, man. I was like, what did I do? And then I thought, oh yeah, the phone thing yesterday with like the air conditioning that you probably just heard in my office blowing right down on my back, You know
what's sad? The older we get, John, I pulled a muscle in my rib. I had a sneezing fit from allergies, about 10 sneezes in a row. And I pulled a muscle, one of my rib muscles, like in the side, like really bad. Like it hurt. Like where I couldn't lay on that side. And I was like, what happened to me? And then the only thing I could think of is I had that sneezing fit, which I've never had. I mean, where, all your muscles tense, but it was like 10 times in a row.
Right.
It jacked me up. Sneezing, man. I pulled a muscle sneezing. And one in the back of my neck, which are fine now. Because this was like a week ago.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that little crick that used to take like a day to go away takes like a week now?
I'm going to liken this to what a comedian said. It's weird that I go to sleep fine and I wake up like somebody beat my ass.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, who beats your ass in your sleep? Apparently somebody does, because I wake up.
You get out of bed and like everything's cracking and popping and
you're like, oh, this is not nice.
And after about 30 minutes, you start to limber up a little bit. And you're like, okay, I can move around now.
Yeah, I always have to roll my ankles so my feet wake up.
Right.
But I have like really bad ankles from like, the 15 years of skateboarding.
Among other things.
Yeah, jumping off buildings didn't help either. But yeah, like I don't want to say a daredevil, but I did a lot of dumb things.
Truthfully, I had been lucky. I never experienced back pain or back troubles until I started like flying in airplanes to conventions so much.
Yeah.
And I think that, and it doesn't matter. I've been in coach, I've been in Comfort Plus, I've been in first class. An airplane seat is not it's they're only so comfortable, right?
Yeah.
When the plane starts to shake or jump around, you're still getting that like twist or whatever, So you're in that chair strapped in, and there's only so much, that
your body can take. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would start noticing back pain, and never had it before, but I also one day I was here in my office and I was sitting down and the pain started so bad I had to get up and get home, and the drive home was excruciating because every little bump in the road just
I've thrown my back out I want to say at least a dozen times.
But what I did notice, and then I read later, and it was weird. When I would stand up or walk, it was better.
Yeah. I couldn't, I've thrown my back out where I couldn't move. I was crawling on the ground like an animal. Yeah, I've done that a couple.
I thought that was just your normal walk, Drew.
Oh no. Oh man. The back pain I've experienced. And one time we called an ambulance because I threw my back out at work when I was cooking. And I didn't know, because sometimes you don't know you do it. You don't even notice the pain because your back is warm. When you're working, you're constantly moving. So when I got home and I took a shower, everything that warm water than to cold. Like when you go to warm and then you get out of the shower and you go into like it was the summer, so air conditioning.
Right. Yeah.
My back just seized.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to even get my clothes on. It was on my birthday too. So I had a bunch of people at my house because we were gonna like go out to eat and drink and have a good time. And I come crawling down the hallway in my underwear because that's all I could get on, soaking wet. And I'm like literally dragging my lower half. So they call the ambulance, and the ambulance driver was like, "Look, dude, you threw your back out, like your whole lower back, because everywhere he touched hurt." And he goes, "We could take you to the doctor, but all they're gonna do is give you muscle relaxers and painkiller
and a huge bill."
Yeah, he's like, and this ambulance drive is gonna cost you about $3,000. And that doesn't even count the bill from the hospital. He goes, "We can pick you up and put you where you want to stay, because that's where you're going to stay for the next 3 days. And then get you some ibuprofen and just tough it out." He's like, "Or we could take you to the hospital." So I just toughed it out. It was horrible. But I mean, that's not the first time. And it's not the only. Well, it was the first time it was that severe. It wasn't the only time, though.
And unfortunately, it won't be the last.
I hope not. I haven't had it, knock on wood. Haven't had it get super bad like that in years. Because I've been real careful. But I do get these times where I'll just wake up and I don't know. I gotta walk slow because I can feel it, and I know if I move one way or another.
Yep.
It's done skis. I'm done.
Well, I know when I was having my trouble, luckily my bed is right next to my wall. So I would like kind of crawl up the wall to get out of bed. I'd like,
oh yeah. I bet the wall being cold probably helped you a little.
No, I would just like sit up on the bed, and then I would stand up and like lean towards the wall so I could catch myself, and then like, go from that half bent over to like walking my hands up the wall, to where I could stand up straight and then walk out of the room into the bathroom.
Oh, God, back pain's the worst. The cool thing is a lot of times, because my people that know me know if I have, they've known me a while, whenever like moving or anything requires a lot of like lifting and moving, they don't even ask me. I mean, I'll do it if they ask, but no one asks me because they actually care about me. So they care about how I feel. They know I'll do it if they ask, so they just don't even ask.
Right.
I also threw my shoulder out when I was doing IT really bad, but that was my it's my fault, but it's not because it was just part of the job. But I was moving. I was moving a desk to get behind it to get to some cables, and I didn't feel like taking everything off the desk, so I moved it with brute strength, and it kind of irritated one of the sockets in my shoulder. Irritated the socket in my shoulder.
See, here's something. I don't know if I'm going to launch this or not, but since they charge on the first, like if I would launch it now and someone joined, they would pay, and then on the first they'd have to pay again. So I'm just waiting. But
does it do that?
Well, you can set it to do that. Which is,
I know mine. When I first started, I waited until the first actually happened.
Well, and that's I don't know if I'm gonna actually do it, so that's why I just.
If you have the time, I've seen people who can do it. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. Now, and like he's in a different place than I'm at. I mean, not like career wise. I'm just saying like. He doesn't have regular work, so
sounds like me.
Patreon's ideal for him. For me, it's not. I have one, and there's people who contribute, but if you do it right, you have to commit actual time to it. You know?
Well, here's what I've been thinking. $1 a month is just what I got, a thank you tip.
Sure.
But anybody that contributes $1 a month will be entered to win a free 6x8 headshot of their choice each month. So
Sure.
something,
Yeah.
and then shipping and handling will be up to you if you live outside of the U.S. It's like I don't want to have 2 people or 3 people and then have to spend $30 out of pocket because they're out of the country. I found out also that on the little 6x8 that I send, they really screwed me up at the post office. They were only charging me last year like $1.40, $1.45.
Now so it's $7, right?
Well, here's what happened. I went there to drop 10 of them off, and a guy started ringing them up at $3.90 or something a piece.
Sure.
Like, whoa, wait a minute. I said, that's not right. I said, last year when I was mailing these first class, they were like $1.40, $1.45. Well, I know a girl who works there, and I said, hey, what's the deal with the price? And she's like, she shook her head, and I'm like, what? I said, last year, this is what I paid. Now $3.90. And she goes, the guy said, well, are we supposed to mail this? And here's where they get you, as a flat or a package. And she goes, well, I guess we've been mailing them as a flat. And I said, well, how much is a flat then? And he goes, $1.60. I said, yeah, I can see the 15 cents increase or whatever, but like more than doubling the price. I said, what's up with that? And they're like, well, you're using a thick envelope and it's very sturdy. It can't go to the machine. So that means it's a package.
Yeah, that's what I've been told too.
So what I had to do was I told her, I said, those were ones that I was doing for like $30 with free first class shipping. So I was going to lose quite a bit of money if they didn't send them through as flats. And so she asked me, and this kind of worried me. She goes, have you had any come back? And I said, what do you mean come back? She goes, like return because there wasn't enough postage on it. I said, no, everybody that I sent the last batch out to got them. She goes, well, go ahead and send them as flats, she told the guy. So I was like, okay. So what I'm doing now, though, is I understand with first class shipping now, if you pay as a package, you will get tracking.
Yes, you get tracking every time.
But it's more expensive. I sent one. In fact, that Hellboy I had on Twitter, some guy bought that for $40. It cost me $4 even to mail it first class to him. So, it's like I'm not trying, and the drill too. People do not like paying for shipping.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm priority all the way, so it's a minimum of $10, and I jump up from, if it's 11x17, it's going to be 15.
Well, see, I don't even know how you can do it for that. Well, you use the stuff the post office gives you, right?
Yeah, it's like $9, and then I get $1.60 for my supplies, which is the tape, the bracing, and then my time, because you know how long that takes.
Oh, well, yeah, that's why I charge $20 for priority shipping, because
it's a bear.
I know it. Plus, then a lot of times I print out the mailing label.
Yeah, I do too.
So I have to buy the stickers and ink, and
Well, I don't get stickers, but I print it. I have an old laser printer, and I just print them out and tape them on. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's at least it's gone up every year.
I know, and
I think it's $8.80 now for 9x12. 11x17 can range from $10 to $17 in the U.S. It matters where it's going.
Yeah, there's ALD collects. He got his week. Which one or ones did you get, ALD? Was that you on IG that had the Punisher and Batman? Because I know that person put his up, which made me feel good. Because when she told me they're gonna maybe send them back to me, or they would charge the customer, which they used to. I know I've had mail long ago. You know, the person would come up to the house and go, "Oh, you owe me 38 cents for postage." And I'm like, what?
Well, that's, what's weird is I do all my stuff online. Well, except for the overseas stuff because you can't anymore.
Right, exactly.
And they just charge me if it comes up under. Because I mailed something first class, but I put it in a priority envelope.
Mm-hmm.
It fit. But I actually did the whole process of just paying first class.
Right.
And like a month later, I got a charge because they said, well, you can't mail it in a priority envelope if it's not priority. So it went priority, but they caught it, and I just came right out of my PayPal.
Right.
I was like, what's this $8 charge here? And they're like, oh, because you didn't have sufficient postage. So,
okay. ALD got an Iron Man. I did, so that's good. So that's another one because I sent out 10, so I know that 3 have been delivered out of the 10 that I sent. So people should be getting them, and it's also mail's running a lot slower.
it is running slower.
I mailed those on the 20th, which was Friday.
And I think they have to go through more precautions right now.
They might. But there's this city called Palm Coast, which is about a 30-minute drive up the street from me.
Mm-hmm.
I mailed one to a guy there. He didn't get it till Monday. I thought for sure he'd get it Saturday because I mailed it Friday. There's no reason for him to get it, but he broke it.
Everybody's also Amazoning it and ordering everything online right now, too.
Right. So let me run through this Patreon, and then I'll get to Rod's question. He keeps asking, what colors do you normally use for flesh tones? And I'm going to try to answer that again, that there is no set method, really. Everybody's different color. Drew gave some tips before on if you go back on one of our other casts, which is still available for viewing. And I forget which face you were, Drew. It was the who was the snakehead guy?
Serpentor.
Yeah, and Drew really goes through his base color, like under eyes, around the nose, and you might find that very helpful. But we'll address that in a minute. I just want to go through this maybe Patreon thing real quick. So at the $3 tier, you're a big tipper.
Okay.
And, I'll try to mention your name or nickname on Twitter or live stream, etc. It's like buying me a morning cup of Joe. You also have the benefits of the $1 tier, which is you'll be entered for a free 6x8 headshot each month that you're pledging. And again, I'll cover the shipping and handling in the U.S., but if you're outside and win, you will have to cover that yourself because I can't afford it. $5 a month is you will be invited to a private monthly live stream of 1 to 2 hour chat with me, and it'll be something similar to this. It just really won't be me sitting here doing artwork. People have said they want to have discussions with me, talk, stuff like that. So it'd be more of a one-on-one interaction instead of me trying to answer questions while I work, which can sometimes become hard because your mind concentrates on the drawing as you're trying to answer. So you'll get a little more attention. And those will be, they'll be behind the Patreon paywall so that if somebody comes in a month later or a month later or something, they want to see what happened before, they can feel free and go back and watch. And the next levels then are the art levels. And like you, Drew, I'm kind of limiting these. In the U.S., a 6x8 will be $60. That's and that will be first class shipping on me, and that's cheaper than what you can get if you just get a commission right out from me. Plus, you get everything else, and you get a 15% discount on future commissions as long as you are pledged. The discount will not apply to shipping fees. So shipping fee will still be the shipping fee because, again, as you've heard Drew and me both say, we can really get beat up on shipping fees. And I can't tell people enough that we are not trying to make money on shipping fees. We're just we're just trying to not lose money on it.
Yeah, I just spent like $30 on shipping supplies.
Right. It's
like, and that's just for 10 packages.
Yeah. No, it's if somebody out there thinks that I mean, if we were charging $50 for shipping on a $50 head sketch,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, then if
you're overseas though, don't be surprised if it's
right.
30 though.
And that's what I have on my overseas. Anything international is 30.
Yeah, once you hit Italy, it jumps up to $25.
Yep. And that doesn't include our time or our supplies.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Spain you can still mail there for like 15. For some reason, you hit Italy or the Asian countries or Africa,
right?
It's like $24.90 something or $24.70 something. Yeah, I was just like, geez, I thought Spain was further away for some reason.
It's right around France, isn't it?
Yeah, on the other side, but then Italy's like right down there too. Like,
yeah, but Italy's quarantined. I don't even know if mail's going.
No, I mean before all that.
So I just basically Canada. Anyone from Canada, I'm limiting it to 3. It just goes up basically $10. And like I said, I put this into discount will not apply to shipping fees, but I believe I'm trying to remember this $80 is this $80 includes shipping on all these tiers. What it doesn't do is it's a discount on future commissions as long as pledged, but the discount is for the art only. Then the shipping will be added at its normal rate.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think people think like it's just in people's nature sometimes to try and get over on people.
Right.
And not only that, like I always say, well, sometimes you think that because you would do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But since you ever have that person, oh, that guy's talking about me. I know he is. Well, probably not. But you would talk about him because you're doing it now.
Right.
So that's why you think someone's talking about you. I was like, he probably doesn't even think about you until he sees you. So yeah, I am lucky. My grandfather, that was something even when I was like 5, 6 years old, he's just like, don't worry about what other people are doing. Just worry about what you're doing. You do the right thing. You have nothing to worry about that. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing because you just need to worry about yourself. And,
right.
And not in a selfish way, as in don't help people. It's just more like, hey, like don't waste your time worrying about what other people are doing. Which has helped me in the comic industry because I came in with that attitude, and I found out that a lot of people don't think like that. They're just like, hey, that guy's doing this for this company. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. I'm really happy for him. Man, it's pretty quick, though. Do you think he's going to... And I'm like, wait a second. Are you trying to, like, talk mess about this person? I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, let's not do that. And I've said that to people. Like, just, I don't want to do this, man. Like, I just don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'd rather just be happy for that person and just move on,
Right.
Yeah,
Some people are weird though. Well, I guess it's not weird. It's just the way they are. I don't know.
That's why a lot of people, they bag on Rob Liefeld, and I'm like, hey, good for him. He's got fans. He's got a following.
Yeah.
People like his work. Just because you don't doesn't mean the whole world should dislike his work or him.
Yeah, I really don't feel either any way about him.
I don't either.
I don't know him, so
I mean, I know
his work is super dynamic.
It's like, it's there's so many people that and there's so many other things that are if you're going to worry about something, there's other important things to worry about instead of like what Rob Liefeld's doing.
I will say one thing: the abuse that guy takes on the regular, and how he doesn't say anything about it, is amazing. Because I was at a show once, and there was a line that was going around the entire table, but then people were walking by his table and just screaming "man titties" or something like that because of that Captain America drop he did.
Yeah.
But it didn't even faze him. Like he never even looked at. He would put his arm up and wave,
right,
and then just keep going. Because you know what, he's doing fine.
Yeah, definitely.
But what a guy to be able to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's a horrible guy, but I don't know. From what I've seen, I wouldn't be able to take that at every show. Like, are you kidding me? That's so rude. That's mean. To be defined by one drawing you did. God, look at some old drawings I did. If that was the case, I would never go to shows.
That's the truth. And I only use Rob because he seems the one that gets beat up the most.
He does get beat up a lot. I think I made a joke about feet once because a guy I knew was drawing Youngblood.
Right.
And I was just like, hey, because he told me that there was a page in there that's all feet. And Rob had written it in there because of like how people joke on him about it. So there's the first like 2 pages, I think, of issue 1 is mainly feet. And I just laughed and I was like, man, maybe you could make a character called the Pouch and he could just like cover himself in glue and just roll in a pile of pouches. And he looked at me and I was like, this isn't going to go well. And he just laughed. He goes, that's funny. I'll mention that to him. I was like, okay. I was like, it's a joke, man. I not at anybody's expense. I just thought it was funny. But you're right. That guy takes a beating.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
But you know what? You're right about him not letting it apparently bother him, And
if it does, he hides it well.
I'd probably be rolled up in a ball crying at somebody.
Yeah, I think now I probably wouldn't do anything but laugh. But if it was like 10, 15 years ago, who knows what would happen. I told a guy once, I was like, you realize that this table's only like 3 feet wide. And my arms are longer than that. So, and I forget what that was about. God, I was so mad. And I don't remember what it was about. That's how dumb it was. But I just was like, man, I will hop over this table. Yeah, I had an editor who I got into a fight with because he said something that wasn't true, and I had the emails to prove it, and we got into this like bad argument where it got to the point where he was pretty much threatening my career in a sense, because at the time he really wasn't, but I guess he felt like he was, and in my head he was, because I had only been full-time freelance at the time for a few months. And so he saw me at a show like a year later, and I stood up and he goes, "Do you know who I am?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally know who you are." And he's like, and I stood up, not to like do anything, just to shake his hand actually. Because I don't know, I'm not, after the argument, like 10 minutes later, I was fine. But he looked at me, and like he must have been 5'6",
Right.
and I'm like 6'1", and I got up. I just shake his hand. He goes, "Man, if I'd known you were this big, I would have never picked that fight with you." I was like, "Dude, I'm a teddy bear. I'm not going to do anything." Like, Jesus, I'm an artist. I'm not trying to hurt my hands anyway.
At least not here in this convention. I'm going to get
Yeah.
you outside.
I'm not going to hurt myself for you. And yeah, and plus I am those days of angry, angsty, aggro Drew are gone. It's gone. I don't even have I don't think I have that in me anymore. I don't think.
I didn't think I did either until the Walmart incident.
Yeah, you never know, man. But hopefully, like, cooler heads prevail. And I'm glad they did there. I'm glad you because it's just not worth it, John. Like, in retrospect, like, as it's happening, I'm sure it seems fine. But in retrospect, I mean, you have to admit it's just not worth it.
Oh no, I'm surprised I let it get to me. It was just I don't want to get into. I'll get into it.
Yeah, the audacity is insanity.
Yeah, it's just like the guy was so flip about parking that way.
It always bothers me. Like
and what really bothered me more is that the police didn't see anything wrong with what he did.
Well,
I'm like, he moved in this way. He's parked that way. You're okay with that? He goes, well, we didn't see him do it, but it looks like he's in the white lines. And I said, yeah, he had to back up and like a couple times to get in that way. And I'm just like, man.
Yeah, well, like I said, my pet peeve is lying. Like, I can't stand when people lie. And when I know it too. Like, I know you're lying. And that bothers me. Even if it's a little one. I don't know what it is. It's like maybe because I used to get in trouble for it really bad when I was a kid. And now I have this like strange attitude about it. But like him lying, like if the cops are there and he's just blatantly just lying, that would be hard for me to. I'd be like, man, you are a liar. Like, do you like not telling the truth? Is that your deal? Like, is this what you want? This is how you live your life, sir? But that would probably be considered instigating.
Well, see, I don't know the laws because that was the first time I'd ever called the police on anyone. And I did it because the guy hit me and I didn't want to hit back. So I'm like, call the police. They'll tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And they said, well, y'all both can go to jail. And I'm like,
that's what they do.
I didn't hit anybody.
Yeah. Well, see,
this weekend.
I actually had this conversation with my parents this weekend. I went to go visit them since I can't leave the house, and I haven't left the house in 2 weeks. But my eldest was having a problem, I guess, with bullying. And a lot of it was like racial bullying. You know, he's Asian, and he was taking the brunt of that in elementary school and in middle school. I don't think it's much. I don't really know. He won't tell me because he knows that I don't tolerate that. But he never said anything. Like, I found out later, you know, when he was in high school that this was happening, and this is the point. Like, when I was younger, if I got into a fight with somebody, because they called me a racial slur, which happened because I'm from the South and that just happens, the principal or whoever would be like, "What happened?" And somebody would always say, he called him that, and then he punched him in the face. And then I wouldn't get in trouble. They'd go, okay, you go back to class. You're coming with me.
Right.
And that was it. Because, you know, with racial slurs, like, somebody's always willing to be like, hey, he said that. And then,
right,
you know, then Drew hit him in the face. But now if that happens, yeah, everybody gets in trouble. Everybody gets in trouble. There's no parents are called, principal, and it's not a bad thing.
No,
I don't think it is a bad thing, but it definitely, like, the person who's being the victim, I guess, who fights back, maybe it makes him hesitant to say anything because he doesn't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
so-
No, my son, they do like color. You know, you get a color for the day, like blue is good, then green, then
yellow and red.
right. And he got a yellow one time, and he always that's the first thing he wants to tell me when he gets out of school is what color he got, and it's 99.9% blue. But one day he got yellow, and I said, "Why'd you get yellow?" And his teacher was there, and she's like, she motioned me over, and she's like, he really didn't do anything, but he was with the group that was causing the trouble.
Yeah, that happens too.
She said, I can't really single him out and tell him, Jacob, you're, because then it looks bad on her. So
favoritism.
Yeah. So she kind of explained to me that, he was just with the group that was misbehaving, and he was laughing with them. He wasn't like doing whatever it was they were doing. I can't remember now, but she said, I have to. She goes, if I don't, it's, it could be her job, so.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not a permanent record thing.
No, but boy, I tell you, my wife, she thinks it is, it's like, you got yellow. What, oh my gosh, Jacob. And he's like, but I didn't. The teacher, and I told her, I said, look, the teacher told me this. I said,
Yeah, relax. Just relax. It's fine. My wife is the same way. It's like injustice, in a way. Like he shouldn't be punished. That's just not fair. But
hey, that's the same alarm I used to have for my wife's calls.
Oh no, that's an alarm I have set so I don't oversleep. Since no one's in school,
right.
I don't have the regular 7 o'clock. But I've been up since 3:30.
Hey, you're keeping my hours.
Yeah, it's weird. I went to sleep at like 10. Because I was just tired. I've been working myself crazy. I don't know if it's the stress of everything that's going on. But I went to sleep at 10, and I knew I wasn't going to sleep all night.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew it. So I told myself, whenever I wake up, whenever that is, I am going to get to work. And that's what I did. I did some page work this morning around 3. I got that Evangelon inked and colored. I got this inked. So I got a lot done,
Yeah, when I got here to my office and saw that posted, I was going to wait and send you a text and see if you wanted to go live, because I figured I need to do something today just to explain to people kind of, what's been going on and what I'm dealing with. And it's nothing, I don't feel like a crisis thing, except for, there's stuff going around me that I can't control. So
yeah,
it kind of screws up my schedule because, so that's why, basically that and that pinched nerve kind of kept me away. And, I kind of wanted to also go over your, what you're doing in case people wanted to commission you, and wanted to kind of give a preview of my Patreon thing. And maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of, do I try it for a few months or do I just not? I mean, it's something that's been going on in my head for probably about 6 months, and
I feel like if you have the commitment to actually do it, then do it. It's
that's why I'm starting slow. That's why
it's really hard.
I know that I was talking to Ron, and it's interesting how many, and I told him this, I said, it's interesting how many digital artists are doing it, but they're working on a tablet or a pad, an iPad all day long. So it's easy for them just to load stuff up.
Yeah.
Whereas if I do something, I'm more analog. I've got to scan it or take a photo of it, load it up. I prefer scans,
Yeah.
But for convenience, it's like the camera phone is, or the phone camera or whatever I'm trying to say. It's, it's a nice thing to be able to just clip, take a quick picture of your work, but sometimes it doesn't show all the nice stuff that's going on in it. So.
Yeah, most of my pictures, you can't see any of the splatter I put in there. But I will say, when even scans don't take these colors well, they get washed out.
Yeah, I know. It's tough.
And I think the pictures do better justice for color.
Yeah.
For black and white, like line art, yeah, scans are way better. At least with that, you can adjust the levels and bring up the stuff that's actually there. When you try and do that with color work, man, it's tough. You end up having to put like a layer of another color and then
adjustment. Yeah,
just to get it to look like what you're seeing,
I know. You do the scan, then you pull the original out and you try to match stuff.
And then you do what I'll do sometimes is copy the layer, multiply and overlay it at like 25% and then kind of adjust the highlights on one of it is a process. So I just take a picture. And then I just let the client, when they get it, go, oh man, didn't even see all this stuff.
Right.
I'm like, cool, because I did put it in there and you can't really see it online.
Well, that's like when Ron, who's in the room, first came down to my office to pick up some artwork that he had ordered.
Yeah.
He can just make the drive sometimes. He couldn't believe like the difference in what he was seeing on a live stream and a photograph compared to the original.
Yeah, it's a huge jump.
Yeah, it totally freaked him out, and I was glad to hear it,
You ever like even when people look at original pages, of inked art, like I went to go look at Jay Leinstein's stuff. Jay's a super nice dude. I used to go to this show in West Virginia, and he'd always go to the after party because he was friends with the person who was running it, or people that were running it. And we had this I never really talked to him that much because he always seemed, I don't know, I don't like butting into people's conversations, and he always seemed like he was in one, so I just didn't want to like be like, hey, I have something to say. Yeah, I was talking to him, and I stopped at his table and just looking at how nice that line work looks like up close. It's like you get an appreciation for sure. You're just like, man, this looks way sharper. Like it just screams at you. But collectors know that, I feel.
Yeah.
Like collectors, like I never insult the intelligence of a collector. Like they see nuances sometimes I don't, like in my own work.
Right.
And it's flattering because they devote so much time to it. This looks like an old 1970s poster. Like I know it's based on an old 1970s, but it's weird, man. Like the guy who commissioned this, he asked me about it. I want to say like 3 months ago. He hadn't paid, okay? So don't. But he asked me to do this for, I want to say, one of his family members, and I just completely forgot
that Hulk piece.
Yes, and he messaged me because all this COVID-19 stuff had started, and he goes, "Hey man, I just want to let you know that I'm still cool with paying for that piece." And I went, "Oh man, I forgot about that." And he's such a nice guy, but he showed me the idea of what he wanted, but I didn't even think about that. I was just like, "Oh yeah, some people aren't going to be able to pay," and I had to email a guy in France who wanted a piece that I had forgotten about, but he hadn't paid for. Like I said, I haven't been taking payments for pieces for a while. It's bitten me in the butt a few times. I want to say like 4 times.
Right.
Where people just haven't paid. Most recently, a Disney thing, which that guy ended up paying because I don't know. It was like he didn't talk to me for like a week and a half, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, well, are you gonna buy it?" So I just put him in my store, and then he paid me out of nowhere without any like message or anything, and I didn't know where the payment was coming from because the PayPal wasn't his name. So I had to ask a bunch of people, like, did you send me money? Because you don't owe me money. And they're like, no, but if you want to say yes, then yes. And I was like, no, I don't. And then eventually he came up. He's like, oh, yeah, that was me. I was like, I didn't know if you wanted them because you hadn't replied to me in a week and a half. And in my experience, if they don't reply in a week and a half, then they're not ever going to. Yeah, and I don't know. It happens, but it sucks to be honest. Not that I was counting on the money, but it's just like, you know,
Yeah. No,
I took time. I could have done something else. I should have just done something else. But you know, you live and learn. It's whatever. I don't hold any grudges or anything. Unless it's John. Man, oh, I forgot where we were.
Oh, it's okay. That's why it's like, you didn't have much luck with Streamlabs?
You know, it's just too much work.
That's, I've had it downloaded and I've started reading the tutorials and I'm like, I don't even know if you can invite somebody else on and share.
You can. It just takes a lot. You have to pre-plan it. You have to set up your widgets and
yep, I know. It seemed like
your audio and video streams and your chat boxes and it is. And then my camera wasn't liking it, and I'd set it up and it'd work fine. And then in the middle of stream, it would just shut off.
I've seen that happen to people that use it. It just goes out,
So I signed up for StreamYard for, the monthly thing.
Right.
I'm going to see if it pays off. Like, if I get work, like commissions from it, then it's paying for itself. But if it doesn't, then I'll just cancel it.
Yeah, well, that's, I have mixed feelings with it because it's convenient, but I really wish that I could stream in higher def, only for the fact that I know it depends on everybody's internet connection and stuff, whether or not they see a true 1080p or not, but
yeah.
They're only at 720. And the thing is, it's being recorded. So if you record something in 720 and you just want to upload it, not do a live stream, it's still not going to be true high def, So especially with artwork, that's where I feel that the higher the definition, the better it would be.
Yeah, probably. Right now I'm more focused on the interaction.
Right.
Because I don't know, my camera sucks anyway, and you're not getting the true quality of the art anyway, unless I tried to buy a new camera, and apparently that's another hot item because everybody's stuck at home, so everybody's buying webcams.
Really?
Yes, go on Amazon and see how much them things are. It's ridiculous.
I have these little Logitech C290s or something.
Yeah, they're $400 now, John.
No, I paid like $69.
I know that's what you paid, but that's not what they're going for right now. Yeah.
I guess I should sell these.
The 92s, the 92s are 400. I think the 90s are 3. And they're all being sold by third-party sellers. Those assholes who bought them all and decided that they're going to profiteer on people's misery. Yay, capitalism.
Kevin came in the room. Superpower Review. Want to say hello to him?
Hello, Kevin. But no, I don't know. I'll wait until it goes down. I'm a patient guy. I
Yeah,
understand.
no, there's no reason to spend that much. Like I said, this camera is okay for a live stream. If I was doing something that I was going to record and put up later, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I almost got a DSLR for that.
Yeah, that's
but I don't know. I want to get used to this streaming process first before I start investing money, especially the way things are very volatile right now.
Yep.
Like I probably shouldn't even have StreamYard right now. That's like $25 that
I know. I'm thinking, mine's up at the beginning of the month, and I'm like, maybe I'll go one more month. If not, I'll just use the free version.
Yeah, you can only stream the one place. That's the only thing that kills me.
Right.
Because I get a lot of interaction from Periscope, from people who aren't on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go on Facebook Live, I get a lot of people watching, but no one really interacts. Only a few people do. But,
well, see, with the paid one, you can only go on 2.
Yeah, I know.
And then the $50 tier, you can go on like a lot, but they still haven't integrated with Instagram yet.
Well, nobody has.
I know.
Because they don't allow it. It's proprietary, man. They don't want you to do it. It makes them like a hot commodity in a sense that you can't do it, so you have to use their stuff. It's like what Apple used to do, you know. And the thing is, Facebook owns it, so I don't know what the big deal is. Just
yeah, I know.
You should at least be able to go from Facebook to Instagram.
But I think that might be part of it. Is since Facebook bought it, they figure let's, because they're everywhere already.
Well, I think Instagram's used differently too. There's more marketing involved with Instagram than Facebook.
Well, I don't know. I think the marketing on Instagram is more subtle. I hate going on Facebook and being barraged with.
But no, I'm saying like what people use Instagram for.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you're barraged with Facebook.
Jesus, that's why I hate opening Facebook up, because it's like ads everywhere.
Yeah, but when you go on Instagram, you go to somebody's page, it's all them marketing themselves.
Right.
Like they don't. It's the social element is so. I mean, there are people on there who are doing the social thing because maybe they haven't figured. But then those are the guys who have 12 followers.
Right.
Because they're only talking about themselves in the sense of, hey, this is my cool coffee. Who cares about your coffee? Go on Facebook where people care about what kind of latte you have. That's why I get that question a lot on my Instagram. People message me and go, how do you have so many followers? And it's almost like an insult. Like, how do you pull that off? And then I tell them the same thing. I just don't post anything else. I don't post pictures of my kids. I don't post my family.
Uh-oh. Something happened. Let's see. Did Drew freeze up? Nope. Did I freeze up? Nope. Odd. Can you hear me? Okay. Let me send him a text message. Hopefully he'll be back. Oh, I
Am
hear
I
an echo.
back?
Oh, you're back now, but I hear an echo. So if you're watching the YouTube part,
I have that other window open.
there you go.
There we go.
Now we're back.
We're back. Are we back? Well, I'm glad you didn't hear all that. I was being totally a rude and obnoxious person.
We can see you fine, and then I thought it
Give away the meaning of life, so those of you could have heard it, you're welcome. I can't hear John at all. I can't hear you, John. Are you talking?
Yes.
Now I can't hear anything.
Can everybody hear Drew and I? Drew says he can't hear me. Drew? Okay, everybody's saying they hear both of us, but I can't hear Drew, and Drew can't hear me. Interesting. Let me shuffle this around real quick. Drew? Aha. Okay, everything is fine here. Okay.
Hello?
There, now you're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we're back.
See, that's what we get for talking about StreamYard and
And the Illuminati.
yeah, and the bad the cameras.
And that's where Hitler's buried. What?
He's really not dead, you know.
If he's still alive, that would be a miracle. I mean, I guess there are some World War II guys still alive.
That's true.
But if that guy's made it, man, I'm sure he still doesn't have the mustache. If he does, that's a bold move, sir.
No, what's a bold move is if anybody wears that mustache now.
Yeah, Michael Jordan tried to bring it back.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, it didn't work out because people went, "What the hell are you doing?"
He ruined that mustache for everybody.
You know, and the sad thing is, no one goes, "Hey, that's a Charlie Chaplin mustache."
Yeah, I know.
No, I mean, hey, you know what? If that's the least of our problems with Hitler, like, you know what I'm saying, he's kind of done some other horrible things. Like, who cares about that? It's a dumb mustache anyway.
It is a dumb mustache.
It doesn't look good anyway. So he did the world the only favor he ever did for the world. Get rid of that mustache.
Maybe that was the only good thing he ever did.
That mustache no longer is a fashion statement.
And I caution myself of even saying he did anything good. Believe me, somebody will pull that out and take it the wrong way.
Maybe, probably, who knows? I don't care.
Of course you don't. You didn't say it.
I did. It's true. John, you're just a horrible person. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm even on this thing. Somebody call the police. You're canceled. Yeah, I listen to a lot of comedians. There's a new Tom Segura special on, and he says awful things that make me laugh.
No, well, you know, I got to admit, I think that is the job of a comedian, to say stuff that maybe people think.
Yeah, well, he drowns dogs in his in one of his bits, and it's hilarious.
Like you just got like I don't know, it just hits it. It's very decisive, right?
Right.
But you got to hear the joke. It's out of context. If you read the joke, you'd probably think he was the worst person that ever lived. But if you hear the joke and how it's told, it's actually pretty funny. Um, but I feel like that has a lot to do with comedians. Like sometimes you read what they say and you go, "Oh my god!" But then you hear them say it and you go, "Oh, well."
Hey, there's Dr. Kaz. Good morning, Dr. Kaz.
Did my wife text yet?
I could sure use a neck adjustment or a left shoulder blade and a little higher. Yeah, it's almost worked its way out, but probably by the end of today it'll be sore again. I don't know what I did except holding the phone with my shoulder up to my ear for about 2 hours and letting cold air run on my back.
Uh-oh. I did it again, didn't I?
What's that?
Oh, okay, never mind. I think I'm the one cutting the sound off on my mic.
Yeah, why are you doing that?
Because the mic button is near my thigh, and it's pressing between that and the chair, so I just moved it.
Near your thigh. Okay.
Yeah, because it's on a tether.
Okay.
Because I'm wearing a headset.
You know, you don't need to wear a headset.
I do because this is a new computer that doesn't have a mic,
Oh, okay.
so I don't have a separate mic. So I'm using old headset I have.
All right.
My old computer had a built-in mic, so I didn't even have to do anything.
That's funny. Most newer ones would have a built-in mic.
Not this one. Laptops, yes. This is
Oh, okay. Desktop.
yeah, this is a desktop.
Gotcha.
So I bought a monster machine, which has paid dividends in recent weeks because I've had to color a couple covers. I wish I had gotten that third cover in before all this like stop of everything.
Right. Now, I do know Rod was asking, and you probably can maybe speak on this better than I can right now about the whole diamond thing. Do you think that's going to really affect the comic industry long term?
Yes, I do. I think there's going to be freelancers that won't be able to come back from this. Especially the people who only rely on one stream of income, like whether they're relying just on cons or just on comics, or just on the both of them. Like, I think it's going to affect. Like, it's hard enough to be freelance when things are moving. Like when you can kind of get a job, because there's no guarantees, right? I mean, you know that, John.
Oh yeah.
And like, imagine it now where, there are none. Like smaller companies, they're not hiring anybody because they're not doing any books. They can't pay you if they're not making money. Marvel and DC is different, but that's a different nut to crack on its own. So yes, I think it's going to affect the industry. I'm not going to be a doomsayer. I hope it strengthens it by pointing out its flaws. But I mean, to say it's not going to affect the industry is delusional. It already has. And there's a lot of things probably people aren't talking about yet because either they're told not to talk about it in a sense because you don't want to panic people, and I get that. But also, they don't know what's going to happen, so you don't want to say anything because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't want to be a negative Nancy and not have any solutions. You can sit and bitch all day, but if you're not going to offer any type of like what's it going to do? But other than to you just crying about things, like, but if you sit and you think like, well, what do we need to do? And it can't rely on, like my friend and I were talking,
And like his thing was, well, I'm gonna ask so and so to tweet this. I'm gonna ask this. I was like, you gotta stop relying on everybody else. I get we're supposed to kind of lean on each other, but that's different. When you're leaning on each other, there's no real expectation. Like if they don't help you, then you just go, oh well, that's fine. Like I got to come up with a solution. But when you rely on that person and expect them to do something, I mean, they have their own problems, you know?
Yeah.
So my thing is like an over reliance on other people. Like I just feel like, sure, you should count on people, but I don't feel like your solution shouldn't be other people, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to come up with things, and I'm starting to do little things like this whole commission thing, slowly but surely. I'm thinking of other ideas to possibly create streams that aren't just in comics. I don't know. I've been thinking over things the past few days.
I too have been that's why I'm trying to build maybe a Patreon page. I just don't know if it's, and I guess I won't know unless I launch it. Yeah,
that's true. And this person wanted to do that too. It's not for me. Because when this is all over, hopefully it will be soon. Like I know with regular work, I'll end up abandoning it. Like I will abandon it, and that's not fair.
No, I will abandon mine, but I'll let people know that it's coming to an end.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I can't. It's hard. It's hard to explain. It's hard to let go of something that's positively affecting your life. So if Patreon works out for you, it's making you money and things are going great. It's such a temptation to keep doing it and try and do your regular work. I feel that a lot of people will do that, and then it'll just disappoint one or the other.
Well, here's my thing with it. If you probably didn't take a good look, but they have like a little descriptive of what you're doing. And mine is I'm basically creating comic art to keep my studio running, to pay my rent here.
Yeah.
If Patreon can make enough to like cover most of my rent, then that's going to help me. Yeah. Because I can't really live stream from home. I don't have a setup there.
No, that sucks.
So, I mean, I don't have the room there that I need that I have here.
Well, yeah, mine pays my electric bill. I think
right. So I mean, I do have a goal of what and that's why I have it limited, because I don't want to take on like unlimited discounted, they're not discounted deeply, but
enough.
Enough to where if someone wants one for a month, they can jump in for a month and get a few other little perks. They can get the 15% off on anything else.
It just doesn't seem like it's as long as it doesn't hurt you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, sometimes these times call for a little desperate.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I just can't commit to it. I can't commit to it. Like I said, it's different for everyone.
Right.
And it may work for you or him. I've been doing it a while, and when I first started doing it, it became too much for me because work came in, and I was just like, "Oh, what do I do?"
That surprised me when you did that drawing that day, and I'm like, I didn't know you have a Patreon, and you said, "Well, I don't really advertise it." So why not just if it's not really helping you, why don't you just say, "Hey, this is the last month. If you want to hang in there, do. If not, drop out." And
yeah, I should actually, to be honest. I don't promote it. Like, it's not that I like the people. I mean, most of them are just dollar. There's one person who I owe a large commission to because he did the save up to get a commission, $25 a month for 10 months to get a single figure 11 by 17 in color.
Right. But I mean, you can still do that for him.
Yeah, I am. I am totally. I'm gonna do that, and then uh, see what I can do maybe for the rest of it. Like I think he's invested like $75 more. I may have to just pay him back.
Right.
But I don't know, man. It's just not my thing. Just like Twitch isn't my thing.
No, Twitch.
I don't do human tricks, so
again with certain things, Twitch's interface to me is more of that gamer look. It's just busy. It's got too much going on.
It does. It has all the side windows, and then people can run on your stream when you're not there, and you can set that up too,
right?
To keep your channel busy, and maybe, like I said, those services require you to commit to them in some way, shape, or form. You may not think you are, but you are. Like there's guys I know who are like, oh, I'm just going to dabble in it, and that's all they do now. Because they're like, well, it's making me money, but that's not what I got into this to do. Not make money, but
like I said,
desperate times, desperate measures.
It seems to me like the people that are doing well on Twitch are mostly digital artists.
Yeah, I know. Kennedy does really well
on. I meant on. Kennedy. Well, I don't know. Is he still doing it?
I thought he was. He does it really early in the morning, though.
Yeah, I used to catch it because I'd be down here, and it was, he'd be on East Coast time, so he'd start at 10 o'clock. Is
he an East Coaster? I thought he was
West Coast. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm all confused this morning.
It's dude. I get it. It is a confusing time.
It was interesting because it gave me something to watch at like 10 o'clock in the morning because he'd go to 10 to 1 sometimes.
Yeah, and he's an amazing artist.
Yeah, he is, and I enjoy it.
He seems really nice too.
Yeah,
I've never met him. Every time I've tried, I've been kind of side personed by the guy who runs Essential Sequential.
Jason.
Yeah. He'll just kind of jump in there. And I'm like, whoa, guy. Which he seems nice. He's nice too. I just remember trying to buy a sketchbook from Eric, and he was packing up, which is probably my dumb fault, but I went to go there because I was at my table all weekend, and I wanted to buy that chocolate one that he has that looks like a Hershey bar.
Uh-huh.
And he was packing up, and I was just like, hey, man, it's nice to meet you, and this and that. And
he probably doesn't want Eric to get in a long conversation,
Well, and I actually got out. Hey, I know the show's about to end soon, but I just wanted to buy this sketchbook, a sketchbook from you. He had already pulled them off the table. And before I could say another word, it was like, oh, man, they're already – Eric didn't say anything, by the way. I want to say that. He never even got to respond, and it was just like, hey, these are packed up. Sorry, man, you can't get any. There's, if you want it, like, you just either got to catch it or, maybe we can supply it online. And I was like, well, okay. Like, and then it felt like, well, now the conversation's over, so go away. Which, like I said, maybe is my fault for waiting till the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take a little responsibility. And it was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes till the end of the show. So maybe my timing sucks, which I find out most of the time it does. So like I said, I don't hold anybody because I met Jason after that. When I was talking to Matteo Scalera, and he seemed really nice. So I just think I caught him while they were trying to pack.
Right.
And they were just like, hey, go away, we're packing.
Right.
Maybe it could have been done a little nicer. But I don't know how nice you can be about that without being honest. Like, we're trying to pack up. So yeah, whatever.
It's kind of tough when you get that last person when you are trying to pack up.
That's true, and that's why I said,
because the convention center, they're going to kick you out too.
Yeah, that happened once, unless you're Jay Lee. Because that didn't work until they turned the lights off.
Yeah, but he's got such an easy pack up. Have you, he just dumps everything back into his suitcase and he's gone.
Yeah, that guy's super nice too.
Yep, he is.
Most people I've met are nice. There's weird circumstances like the one I just mentioned, but I don't think that anybody was being mean. I just think the timing was wrong.
I think you're probably right.
It just happens, man. It just happens. I've only had one person be directly mean to me, and that was at the Westin at a Heroes Con. And it was my first Heroes Con. I wasn't even tabling. I was just going there because a friend of mine who was tabling asked me to come down and just kind of hang out. And I went down and I hung out. I had a couple weird experiences, but I'm not going to go into those. But I was in the West End bar. You know how everybody meets in the West End.
Yep.
So I was down there with my friend. My friend goes to go talk to somebody. I think it was Sanford Green and Ed McGuinness, because this was like when they did that Artzilla thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a long time ago. And I was sitting there, and I was already standing with Rick Leonardi, who I had met at the show. And he asked me if I wanted to go get a beer after the show. So I was like, oh, I'm kind of cool sitting here, right? I'm going to sit here and wait for my friend to come back and then, find out what we're doing. Well, a group of people come over of comic book professionals. I'm not going to name them because I feel like the story doesn't flatter them or the experience. So I'm not going to say who they are. But they come over, and one of them is pretty drunk already. I don't know how you get this drunk when I'm telling you the show just ended. So I don't know. He was pretty lit. And I'm just standing there. Everybody's talking. And he's complaining about DC's insurance. Because you can only get it. Well, back then, you could only get it, apparently. And I'm going by what he said. So you could only get it if you lived in New York.
That may have been true, because when I had it, it was Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield from New York. And when they cut me off of it, basically what it was is I had to pay a certain amount per month, which was they would just take it out of one of my pages.
Yeah.
So it was paid by that. And you also had to do a certain amount of work for them to even qualify.
Well, yeah, he was complaining about that because at Marvel, they cover you wherever you live. And at DC, they weren't at this time. This is probably the early aughts. So around 2000, I want to say 2004.
I didn't even have it then. I got cut out in the 90s.
Well, he was complaining about that. And he looks over out of nowhere, mid-conversation. He just looks over. And he goes, who the F are you? And I went, hello, my name is Drew. I'm an illustrator. I'm my friend. I'm waiting for him. He's over there talking with the people over there. And I thought it was over. So he continues on. And, I should have said, well, I'm with DC Insurance. And but I did. I was, like I said, this is my first show.
Right.
So I was not, and I was very intimidated because this person, to me at the time, which is still is a pretty big deal. He's definitely been doing comic art since the 80s. But he continues to complain about this, and I'm standing there listening. I'm holding my drink, and he looks over at me again, and he does it again. He goes, who the F are you? And I go, I don't know if you heard me before, but my name is Drew. And I went through the whole thing again. And then he was like, all right. And then he just starts complaining again. And then the third time, he does it one more time. And then I start hearing chuckles. So I was like, oh, this is a joke now. I've become a joke. And at that time in 2017
That's
years
what you
ago,
call your Joe Pesci. I
Well-
amuse you. I amuse you.
well, I was in my early 30s. I had just come out of like my son was just born, so I was probably a year removed from who I used to be. So trust me, in my head, oh, so many things I wanted to do. But the people who were present were pretty industry staple type people. And I felt like if I had done something, and they were the ones laughing, by the way, I felt like I would kill my career before it started. Because somebody would go, "Hey, did you see what that guy did to, so and so? And whose side are they going to be on?" It's not going to be mine. The guy's first time at Heroes, like I'm the guy who's the jerk in that situation, no matter how that flies. If I fight the guy and win, I'm the jerk. If I fight the guy and lose, then I deserved it. And I know that's how that would have played out. So I just turned around and I looked at my friend and I said, "Well, he's coming back." And he's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, I'm leaving." And I drove all the way home right then and there because I was mad. Oh God, John.
I got it. Text me that person's name.
No, I can't do that, John.
Come on.
No, and then I'm not going to tell you what. I'll tell you off camera why it wasn't a good idea that I did. Like, it was a good idea I didn't do that. But I don't know. That guy's pretty wasted. I'm pretty sure I could have handled him.
But see, that's the thing where it's like that other saying, like, if you beat up this person, you know, big deal. And it's the same thing. If you beat up a drunk, big deal. If he beats you up, then, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm like I said, I was pretty sure I was going to be all right.
Right.
Because I don't think he was expecting it either. Because he was real close, John. I mean, I'm like right next to me, John.
And who are you? I said, I'm the guy that's fixing to kick your ass.
Yeah. I should have went with the insurance line. That probably would have been funny. And then, and you know, if it was now, that's what I would have said. I was just like, "I'm with DC Insurance, and we'd like to tell you that
your insurance is being canceled."
Yeah, it was just something silly like that, and that probably would have went over all right. I didn't realize I was a butt of a joke until, you know, the laughs started happening, and that bothered me a lot. But like I said, now I would have handled that differently. I was not as confident of a person, like, in myself as I am now. So I would have handled it differently, and I probably wouldn't have gotten mad at all.
Right
now.
Well, it depends. It's like, you know, when you're with your buddies and you're giving each other a hard time, it's different. You know,
it is different. You're correct. It is.
You understand that everybody, you know, everybody eventually has their turn in the barrel and gets picked on by their group of friends.
You hope so, because if you're not, then they don't care.
Yeah, like me and Zablo, and you know, it's like everybody gets their chance of being picked on at some time or another.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
You know, we tease Craig about his Stallone collection, and you know, I'm always teasing him about. He's like, well, you know, maybe could you pick me up a Stallone like commission if there's somebody there that you like? I said, yeah, I'll get you that. What movie was he nude in?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Oh man, and it was the one with Wesley Snipes.
Demolition Man?
Yes. When he has the nude scene when he's frozen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you that frozen scene and he goes, no, never mind then.
I thought because I know he did a porno or something. I never saw it, so.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, no,
I had to see it, of course.
Yeah, I've never been that big on the pornography.
Well, I had to see it because, you know, Zablo had to see it, so we.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I did that when I was younger too. A friend of mine was really heavy into pornography, and he was he's just like, hey, you have to see this girl. She's the next big thing. I'm like, yeah, but that's only if you're into porn. She is. So yeah, to you, yeah, that's the thing. But to like us and like people who are not in the like, she's just some lady, you know. Like I don't like I just told him like I just feel like this information isn't going to help me when this is over. I can't go like, hey man, have you heard of this person? She's the next big thing. And they'll be like, and what? And I'm like, of porn, of course. Like it just, I don't know.
Oh man, that's too funny. She's the next Marilyn Monroe.
Well, this guy used to go to clubs with this T-shirt that said "Fruit in the Room," and I'd be like, you know what that means? He goes, yeah, it means I get freaky. I was like, no, that is not what that means. That means you're gay. And he goes, no way, dude. Just means I party. And I'm like, okay, man, you wear that. And it was like the Fruit of the Loom shirt, but it said it like there was another guy I knew who had freak in the room, and I think that's what he thought he bought. But he didn't. He got fruit in the room, and I was like, I don't even know if that's derogatory, dude. Like, right. I don't even know. But I was like, I really don't think you should wear that anymore.
Now, are you putting a spray down or something?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a marker that has substantial ink because it works best like that.
Are you almost done with that? Is that why you're splattering? Or?
Well, I still have to do the logo.
Oh, okay. I didn't see up there.
But I figured I'd finish off. What I'm going to do, I'll probably lay another shadow in, and then I'll go over it with a light umber, like the whole ground here, like where I colored. And then that's done. And then his eyes and teeth, which I don't know if I'm going to do them white or yellow.
Can you bring it down a little bit?
Like
no. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if I'm going to do that white or yellow. So I'll figure that out too. I'm real indecisive today.
I kind of like the white. The yellow might make him look too jaundiced or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it really screams hero, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so if I go yellow, what I will usually do, what I like to do, is I take a cerulean to do the brow shadow.
Right.
And then on the teeth. And then I got this new sharpener, which I love. Let me get that.
I bet your wife loves the sound of that.
Oh, no, I don't use it at night. I just use the hand sharpener at that point.
Right.
See, look at that thing. Look how long that lead is.
Nice. What kind of sharpener you got there?
It's FMAT.
Oh, okay.
And you charge it. So I have
really? USB thing?
Yeah, I have a USB port under my Huon tablet here.
How big is it? Is that like is that convention travel size?
I don't know about that. I mean,
oh yeah, that is kind of big.
Yeah.
I've tried one of the smaller ones at a convention and it doesn't work. So I got me a Alvin, the
like these.
No, it's glass, and it's the best sharpener for like a Prisma. That thing will put a point because it's that good German blade in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually, if I bring my mechanical pencil to, these little things, well, it's just the lead pointer, but I got to be careful to dump the dust out. It's so fine, if it gets in my bag, it's like horrible.
I use the long tip. I think it says German too. I think it's Kum.
Uh-huh.
Kum, Kum.
and it has like a just if you want to sharpen the tips.
Right.
I like this thing. It comes with extra blades inside of it, so if you need to change them out. But I have to have a long lead, because I draw them the side.
Right.
And if I have a short lead, then I start pushing wood real quick. You know? Yeah. And I don't. The name of my sex tape, right?
Pushing wood.
Yeah. So I get the long lead sharpeners.
You get long wood.
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew I was gonna catch it for it, but I'll let you have that one, John.
we're running off the rails.
What am I doing? I'm looking for a light umber. 60% looks good. And then I'll just go over it all.
Lloyd's running out for some coffee.
Sweet. I need some coffee.
I had one this morning on the way in. That Dunkin' Donuts has got me like, I think I was talking when I first came in. It's like about 6 months ago. I started drinking Dunkin' coffee instead of Starbucks, and I like it better. Just a regular house blend coffee.
Yeah. Do they do iced Americanos?
Yeah, they do iced coffee too. Starbucks coffee. Well, the iced Starbucks is fine. I don't know if they use their same blend for that as they do their hot coffee, but their hot coffee. Do they? Their hot coffee just seems more acidic.
Well, it's because cold brew isn't brewed. It's not acidic. It's
no, I know. I don't mind,
brewed, but they use the same grounds, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
They just don't brew it. That's what adds all the acid into it.
Yeah, their hot coffee is just a little too. Ron and I were discussing it.
It is acidic. I agree with you. I think all brewed coffee, a lot of it is, well, not all, a lot of it is acidic.
But then I don't like a coffee that's too wimpy either. So Dunkin' seems to have their regular grind. It's in between a nice dark, and it's closer to medium than anything I've had that's not like bitter. Yeah.
They have you ever had the Death Wish coffee?
No, I haven't. Is that?
It's really good. It's a little intense.
Right.
It can be, especially if you're not expecting the boost that you're getting.
You mean the caffeine boost?
Yeah. Like you really do have to watch it, I believe, because I can drink an energy drink and be fine. And that's supposed to be like the equivalent to close to 4 espressos.
Yeah.
But I drink a large cup of Death Wish too fast, and I get shaky. Like I physically can feel how unstable I am.
That's interesting. I need to maybe try that.
If you cold brew it, it's not as bad.
Do they have the K-Cups?
Do they have what? Yeah, I believe they do. The K-Cups.
Uh-huh.
And some people say it's bitter. I don't think it's bitter at all. Because I have some Ethiopian coffee and some Sumatra coffee, and then it's bitter. So I don't think that's what. I mean, it's bitter because it's coffee, but it's acidic is what I meant.
Right.
I don't think it's acidic at all. I just think it knocks you on your butt if you're not paying attention. Like you really drink it like you drink coffee. Don't drink it like I'll chug it. Like if it gets cold,
right?
I'll just chug it, and that's a bad move.
Do you like? Have you ever had the Kona, the Hawaiian?
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah, that's really nice. And
yeah, I think that is very light in flavor.
It is. But it's
Kona
a nice
coffee is wonderful.
Yeah, it's a nice smooth.
Yellow letters. Yellow and orange to complement that green and purple,
That's right.
one of the few heroes who have that yellow and that green and for most villains, right? Like Green
That's it.
Goblin and Scorpion, like Doctor Doom's got the green in there.
You know, I want to say hello to Genome. He came in, but I was going to say, yeah, I was always told, and it tends to hold true. And I think I told you this before. Heroes were usually primary colors, and villains were secondary.
Well, they say the Hulk is an anti-hero,
Right.
so that's
And
why
then-
he gets the.
You know, you also have someone like Hawkeye that has the purple, but he's also got blue. So he's, you know,
Yeah, he was a villain though first.
was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was a villain first, and then he became a hero, just like the Black Knight was a villain first, and then became a hero. Scarlet Witch, another villain that became a hero, and Quicksilver, both green and pink, not primary, but they were They were villains first, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, but no, it's what a color psychology, right?
Yeah.
You just automatically see that green and purple thing, and you're like, "Oh, that's trouble." That's the name of my sex tape too. You see that green and purple thing? That's trouble.
Oh, I thought it was just going to be that's trouble.
Oh, that's no. I'm trouble. No, I'm joking. Man, I haven't left the house and really talked to anybody other than my wife and kids in 2 weeks.
Well, see, I get out like every day usually, but I just feel like I should be home.
Yeah.
And that's what's kept me from coming down here. And, you know, because I feel guilty.
Guilty? Why? Oh, because you feel like if something happens, you should be there.
Well,
What's gonna happen?
yeah, somebody might need something, or, you know, they may need to go somewhere, or I don't know. It's, you know, when Jacob was in school and Bella was working, it's like,
You kind of felt like your responsibilities, like during that time, you could just kind of do what you needed to do.
yeah. Now when they're there, it's like, you know, they're probably not even up yet.
Yeah, my kids are still asleep. It's 10
Yeah,
o'clock.
my mom's probably been up and had her coffee and went and laid back down, or maybe she's reading the paper. I don't know, but you know, it's like weird because I feel like not that there's anything I could do if someone gets hurt or something, but I could just be there, you know.
Yeah, well, you get that guilt that you weren't there. Maybe you could have done something, and
I don't know. Sometimes I got to be the peacekeeper at the house between my mom and my wife too. Not that they.
Oh, that's under. No, I get it. Trust.
My mom will say things like to Bella that are, you know,
Kind of insensitive.
yes.
Yeah, she's an old lady, so like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not accusing it.
Nope.
But I get it.
I don't do that either. People go, oh, well, she's 92 or 93. She can say what she wants. I said, no, she can't.
No, she can't. She shouldn't. It's wrong. But
it doesn't stop her.
no, it's not going to, because she's 90 some years old and she's set in her ways. And is it right? No. But what are you gonna do? Force a 93-year-old to do what you want? Like, are you gonna scream at her? You gotta beat her? Like, what are you gonna do? It's not the only thing you can do is be like, hey, like, you can't do that. And she goes F off, then what do you do? Well, I mean, like, really?
Hey, I know what my mom's saying. You got my house bugged?
I know.
No, my mom would never say. I mean, for her to say that is like once in a blue moon. I remember when we were growing up, if that word would fly, she would be like, "Oh, that's the magic word." You know, that would.
Also, she grew up in a time where things were different. Like,
oh yeah, I know.
Like, I always think about that. Like, remember that Duck Dynasty guy? He got into all that trouble because people are like, he said he didn't, like gay people, which I think is crazy too. Like, but he's like, he grew up in the South. Look at him. I mean, I don't mean you judge people by what they are, but it didn't surprise me he thought that. He's like a super conservative Christian guy who grew up in that environment. It doesn't. Now, do I think it's right? No, but it didn't surprise me that he thought that. I wasn't shocked when somebody told me that. I went, yeah, of course that's what that guy thinks. I don't know the guy, but it didn't surprise me. But like I said, I don't think it's right, but I mean, I'm not sure. Like if your mom won't cuss, I'm like, oh yeah, of course she doesn't. She didn't grow up in a time where you cuss in public.
She will curse. It's just it takes a lot,
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, but the way I grew up, I mean, like kids dropped the F-bomb in the second grade and it became like a everyday. I mean, not that it's right either. Well, you just didn't say it around your parents.
exactly.
And then like if they catch you, you deny. Because you're like, because you might catch a beating, Well,
No, my son, Jacob, he knows the bad words, and he'll even tell me. Like if he's watching YouTube and somebody drops an F-bomb or something, I'll look at him and sometimes he'll just change it, and he goes, "I didn't know that was in there." And I said, "I know you didn't." He goes, "That's a bad word, right?" I said, "Yeah, that's a real bad word."
Yeah, my son does the same thing. He doesn't like to watch violent things. He'll turn it off.
Oh, my son likes the violence and the action.
Yeah, second he sees too much violence, he'll just shut it off. And I'm like, I thought you liked that show. He goes, oh no, too violent.
Well, he's used to playing games like where you can shoot one another, but then you respawn. So he has no real. And I've tried to tell him, and he knows. Like in life, when you die, you don't respawn. It's game over. Like literally.
Yeah, I think it's every kid's different. Like I don't know. When I grew up, no one told me anything, so I watched whatever I wanted.
Kind of the way I had it, I think my parents just trusted us to, to do the right thing, and that's kind of what I'm doing with Jacob. As far as for me,
we didn't. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really see my parents much as a kid at all.
They're always in Germany.
Well, my dad was, but my mom, even when he was here, though.
Now I just like to joke with you about that.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I don't. If that still bothered me, I don't know. I've gotten over that.
If you ever told me, "Hey, John, really, that's a soft,"
I would totally tell you to,
and I would drop it immediately.
But it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Hey, it's who I am now. I think I came out all right.
I think you did too.
It just took me longer, I think. Maybe with guidance, I would have come around faster, but maybe not. Who knows? I really don't know.
I know.
I can't think about it.
Nope.
But all I know is I don't raise my kids like my parents raised me. I mean, with me, it was pretty much, here's your key, put it around your neck, go. Come back when it gets dark. And that was it. Like, we didn't eat together. We didn't do anything really together. I don't know. It just, when we moved off base, when my dad left, I didn't even know we were moving. Just one day, my dad calls me in and goes, hey, it's time to go. And I'm like, go where? Look in my room. All my stuff's gone. And, we went to this apartment, and that's where my stuff was, and that's where I lived from then on, until I moved out when I was like 19. So, like they even moved out of. My dad came back after I moved out. Few years, he came back and. Was back to live with he was back in the States. I mean, he'd come and visit my mom. But when he came back permanently, they went to move. And I didn't know they were moving. I came home to say hello or whatever, and I saw
Mhm.
a moving truck there, and I was like, "What in the hell's going on?" And I go inside. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're moving." And this is before cell phones, uh, and like electronic mail, and so I was like, "Well, weren't you gonna tell me? Like, where are you going? Like, I don't even know where you're gonna live." They're like, "Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you, but yeah, we're moving." I was like, "Jesus." I was like, "So if I hadn't come today, then I would have come over one day, and you guys just would have been gone."
The key wouldn't have worked,
Yeah, I would have been like, "What the heck?"
or you would have opened it to an empty house.
Or I would have opened it to a different family, uh, which would have been awkward, to say the least. Yeah, but it is, like I said, it is what it is. Uh, um, I still I go visit them at times.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, why hold a grudge? Like, there's nothing I can do about. I can't bring that time back.
No.
Yeah, so move on. Move it
How old
on.
are your parents, if you don't mind my asking?
They'll be they'll be 71 this year.
Oh, okay.
Both of them. My mom was born on Christmas, and my dad was born on 9/11. So when that happened, it was weird. My dad actually mentioned it because I must have been like 6 or 7 months after that happened that I saw him.
Right.
And he goes, I go, "So 9/11, crazy, right?" Because I mean, the shock of it had a kind
What
of.
are you blaming me?
Yeah, it was just become conversation because like I said, we didn't see or talk that much in my whole life.
Right.
So I was just bringing up small talk. I was like, 9/11, crazy, right? And he goes, "You know what's even crazier?" And it didn't even occur to me because, to be honest, can I be honest? I didn't even remember it was his birthday. And he goes, I was like, what's so bad about it? And he goes, "It's my birthday." I went, "No, yeah." I was like, "You'll be fine." Couple years of awkwardness, then after that, you'll be fine.
My son was born December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, and my dad and I had the same birthday as May 6th was our.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing that I never thought about, and this was like literally maybe a month ago when Jacob had asked about my dad again, and he wanted to go back out to the cemetery. I've only had him there once. He's like, "Can we ever go back out there?" And I said, "Yeah." And then I started telling him about my dad and I having the same birthday. And I said, when he died, he had just, he died on May 8th, and he had just turned 70, and I just turned 35. And I said, I was half his age when he died. And I said, that doesn't happen like that. That's kind of unusual. And I was just making conversation. But then what occurred to me during that conversation was that also meant that when I was born, he was 35, the same age I was.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it blew my I was like, whoa, I just thought of something.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It was really crazy because I had never thought of that before. I always thought that when he died, I was half his age, but I never saw it in the reverse.
Wow.
So it was, I'm talking to my son, and it occurred to me that, I was also the same age when he had me, and then half of his age when he died.
That is what an odd coincidence.
It really was.
My wife was born on July 7th.
Uh-huh.
My eldest son is born on August 7th. My birthday is September 7th.
Ah.
And my youngest, he's born in October. Guess what day?
The 7th.
No, the 8th.
He was 1 day off, man. But he's also different than all of us. He's wonderful. He is like we all kind of were in sync. And my youngest, he can be a dynamo. So, but yeah, we're all a month. So birthday season, that's
Right.
what I call it. Birthday season. They're a month apart. 1 month apart, everyone. Like exactly. We're 7-7-7-8 or 7-7-7, 8. It is it was like he was supposed to come on the 7th.
Right.
But he didn't. And then
Hello,
first
Ken Carson. Sorry
go
about
ahead.
I was just saying hello to Ken Carson.
Ken Carson. Hello all.
Yeah, I
He
You
said
know.
he was Genome said he was free range. I got yeah, same here. Just be back when you get back. Don't kill yourself or anybody else.
Mike's next birthday is September 6th, so we share.
It's the day before mine.
Yeah. And I'm on the 6th, so we have that in common. Not the month, but that would be the same, but it's the 6th. That's still kind of unusual.
Yeah. I've met a few people who have the same birthday as me. As friends, like the actual friends.
Right.
But they're always the ones I message on my birthday. Hey, what's up? Happy birthday, man.
See, I'm giving a close-up of you doing your whole...
Oh, you can barely see it. I can bring it up here. But it's there. Like, see?
Yep, can see it now.
And then if you look down here, see a little bit down there. I got to smooth some of these shadows out.
So you're going to go over the whole thing with a green?
I've already gone over it with a chartreuse, and that's not doing anything.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to go the next one down, which is apple green. Which will probably it looks dark.
It'll dry lighter in the paper though, right?
Yeah. Or I'm really just jacking this up pretty bad.
Well, then you know what? You just go deeper with your greens and do the shadows again.
Yeah, I'll fix it. It's a little darker than I want, but like I said, I'll fix it.
A little saturation is not bad.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Jacob Jevel. What's up, man? That's my son popping in. Let me it also sends out to Twitter. I'm always like, Jacob, did you eat your breakfast yet? Oh, he's in bed. He just woke up. You're on your iPad, right? And you saw Daddy. You had a notification. Jacob, this is my friend Drew drawing this Hulk drawing.
Well, friends is really strong word, isn't it? No,
well, I didn't want to use another word.
Oh yeah, sensitive ears. You don't want to call me what you call me when no one's listening, which is friend. All right, now I can.
Yes, I don't know what answer that was. He had his breakfast? No. Is he up? Yes. Okay. Partner in crime. Yeah, that might do it.
Okay, that'll work. That's much nicer than what I was thinking. So this one is dead. I gotta move the dead ones. Where's the not so dead ones?
And Jacob says it looks nice, Drew.
Thank you. Man, this turned out to be a lot more work than I thought.
Yeah, but look, you got that thing colored like bang. When I went to bed last night, I think you just had it penciled.
Yeah, I penciled it last.
When I woke up, it was like inked, and I'm like, wait a minute, I need to get down to my office because maybe Drew wants to stream early.
Yeah, I got like I said, I got some pages done too. So not pages, I got panels done. I have about, I want to say 9 pages left of the current issue.
Right.
And then I am on hiatus, I guess. Indefinitely. I mean, I don't know when. I have a thing for an anthology for the book market.
Right.
It's for service people. It's like a charity book, so the rate is a little low. But that's fine. Hey, at least it is a rate. But I got that, and then I don't have anything. I guess I'll just be doing commissions and finishing pages on Chase the Moon, the Kickstarter book I did. Unless I can get a job somehow, somewhere. I don't know. That does look a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did and see it's even drawing now. I did the Apple whatever.
Yeah, the 2 months.
Yeah, it was just a little too dark, and then I went over it again.
Oh, I thought you meant the Apple where if you had Apple products.
Oh no, Apple Green.
Yes, that
was too dark, so I went over it again after I went over it because with markers, once you commit.
No, it looks like it dried nicely.
Well, no, I had to go over it with chartreuse
again.
Yeah, to lighten it a little. Because if you go over it, it'll just, as long as the color's lighter,
right,
it'll lighten it. But if you go over it with a blender, it'll take the color out, and that's not what I wanted to do. So I consider the lighter color a blender, and now I'm going over it with the yellow Colorase, which isn't as saturated as like a regular color pencil.
Is that the soft core or just the regular?
This is your Colorase. It's much harder, but it's also
that's right.
More subtle.
It is a Prismacolor, right, or not?
It is a Prismacolor, I believe.
It's the one with the eraser on the end.
Yes, and it's very soft.
Right.
Now you can get it darker if you want, if you just really press. But that's not. I'm using it to blend the greens together.
And you know what I like is when you use those pencils on that textured paper, it picks up a little of the texture.
Yeah, it makes the skin look like it's not smooth.
Yeah.
But then you have to do other tricks when you want things to be smooth. That's usually just color and light stuff.
Right.
Once you mess with shadow, you can fool people's eyes into their brains into thinking something is smooth if you make it look smooth, whether the texture's there or not. Yeah, that came out all right. I got to put the border on it though. I'm putting a border on it. It's going to be a red one once I find I have like 6 rulers. Isn't it funny how you have 6 rulers? When you need it, you just can't find one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you know why you have 6? Because you can't find them, and you keep buying them.
Oh man, then I love these rulers. Like I have a bunch of these, with the clear, I get Pika rulers or whatever. I love them, but they're very thin. And I had these things. They're like,
oh yes, I have one right here with me too.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
Here you go.
My favorite, but last time I had some friends in the office, they thought they'd be funny to fucking. Oh, sorry. They would just sword fight with them. And then you really get to see how flimsy those things are as they snap all over the place.
Well, you know what I like is those rolling rulers.
The rolling ruler, what's that?
It's got the little wheels on it, and it'll keep it at the angle if you need to draw a grid or something.
Oh, I don't have that.
But the thing is, man, those things will break really easy too.
Oh, we'll see. And I'm an animal, John. Actually, I'm not. I'm very delicate with most things, except for comic books. I throw comic books around like they're baseballs.
That's the way they're supposed to be treated. Real comic book.
And like, the thing is, I can throw a comic book across the room, and I never get a crease in it.
Yep.
I did this one. There's this. I used to go to this comic shop across the water where I live on a peninsula. And I used to go to this comic shop across the water, and there's this guy there who was super anal about his comic collection. Like he didn't even like it when people because some people put the comics in the bags upside down and tape it that way.
Yeah. Right.
Some people put the tape in the front instead of the back. And you know how there's a glossy side on the board and then there's a flat side? Well, he was like, he didn't like it if the glossy side was on the right. And if you did it, it bothered him. Right?
CD.
So I one day I saw him at the store and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he goes, "Hey, you buying your comics?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, and I bought them. He's like, "Do you want any bags and boards?" Is what the guy who owned the shop said. And I was like, "Oh, no." And I took the comics, I rolled them up, and I stuck them in my back pocket. That guy looked like he was about to pass out. And then he said, "You can't do that." He said, "You can." I was like, "Sure you can." He's like, No. You can't do that." I'm like,
I just did.
Yeah. I was just the look on his face alone was worth it. It was only like a couple comics. I think I still have them too. They're pretty wrecked, but it was worth the bit.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
God, this marker's dead too. I got to go through these and really take out all the dead ones.
Jacob, I don't know why there's 6 watching. Should there be more, buddy?
The other day, I did a stream. When I started, there was like 34 people on.
Was that on Periscope?
Periscope, yeah, just Periscope alone.
I don't know how many. I don't know if this. I think this only counts. I think YouTube. I think I'd have to go into Twitter. Yeah, I see 5 watching when I go to my.
I was shocked. I was like, "Why are you?" And I even think I said that too. Like, why? What are you guys doing? Why are you watching?
Check Twitter out. I have 1 viewer on Twitter, but
I don't ever pay attention. I just was shocked. It was like a shocking number to me.
Yeah, no, it can be.
You're just like, what the? Like, don't you guys have something?
My son says there should be like 890 watching. I like the way you think.
That's you, Jacob. You're right. There should be.
There should be. Let's round that up to a nice even 1,000.
Oh, now you're aiming too high, John. Well, that's too much. Never gonna happen. I'm actually surprised that when there's over 4, and that includes us. No, I'm joking. No, I don't know. I enjoy that people are watching, but sometimes I'm like, man, like, do I have to do something interesting? I don't know if I'm interesting enough.
Truthfully, I just started this out wanting to explain a few things, where I had been, why I hadn't been streaming. I wanted to get you on here. I wanted people to know about your head sketch thing. I wanted to talk about my possible, Patreon, just trying to
do it. I think
I will probably, I'll give it a chance and see if it is anything worth pursuing, I'll do it for a month or two.
Well, yeah, text me when you're about to do it, so because with Twitter, a lot of times I don't see stuff unless I'm on when it happens.
Well, that's why I have your notifications turned on, Drew. That's why you see me like your stuff like automatically.
I'm so lazy.
Whenever you tweet, I get a message that
oh, Drew, do you?
Yeah.
I haven't set anybody up like that. That's so good. I don't I really tweet and leave, and then I'll go through. I actually am more socially active on Twitter than I am on anything.
Me too. And the reason I like Twitter is it's short and fast.
I'm going to have to start doing that, John. I'll put you on there. I have a couple people that I always like checking in on, and that's like Louis LaRosa. I love that guy. And he always
he is. I've never met him in person, but just listening to his tweets and stuff, he sounds like a really nice person.
He is super nice, and he also retweets a lot of great art.
Yeah.
So it's like I know if he's not posting art, he's retweeting cool stuff. So I tend to just check in on him, and it lets me see like sweet Eric Canetti pieces or I don't know, whoever he posts. Andrew Robinson. I'm trying to think of some recent Ed McGuinness.
Andrew's my boy, man.
Yeah, that guy's really good.
No, he lived with me for about 3 months in Orlando.
Oh, nice.
And one of the friendly, amazing Spider-Man covers he actually painted here in my studio, the one with Captain America on it.
Nice. Doctor Strange he did for Heroes Con last year.
Oh my gosh, that thing was incredible.
I forget how much it went for, but I remember thinking that's not enough for that. I think it was $2,500 is what it went for, or somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
And I think it was worth more than that. That guy, whoever got that, got a deal because that was a beautiful piece. The work alone that went into that was, oh man, well, that's my favorite part of the auction, to be honest.
The great thing about Andrew is he's a trained painter. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I love his work. He's one of the best parts of the auction is just looking at people's work up close. I don't really stay for anything else. I never know what my piece sells for. No, that's not true. People tell me. They volunteer that without even asking, which is fine. But a lot of times I don't want to know. I just don't.
Hey, have you done any more in the sketchbook that maybe you could share? Or has that been on hiatus?
No, it's been on hiatus because I've been freaking out. Everything's kind of anything that's kind of except for this Hellboy that I actually printed on this red paper.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I really like that a lot.
And I'm gonna ink wash it.
Where did it go? There it is.
I'm gonna ink wash it and add some splashes of yellow and stuff. But somebody's already bought that, so that was nice of them. I just drew that because I wanted to draw something fun. I had been drawing everybody else's stuff. Dude, I haven't taken a real break in probably 4 years. Maybe longer, but I'm going to say 4 because that's long enough. I haven't just taken a break and just drawn for myself. Other than sketching, I'm saying drawing. I'm hey, I'm going to draw this.
Right. No, I that was one of the things that I wanted to do this year was just do pieces that I wanted to do for myself.
Yes.
And then I could either sell them or not.
Yeah, sell them, John. Just let them go.
Well, it depends. Maybe I'd hold on to something for a while.
Yeah, Mike Mignola said something like that to me once. I was selling something, and he was like, he keeps some pages. It was when his daughter was, he says he auctions them off when he needs large sums of money, when
Like his daughter went to vet school or something?
I didn't know he had a daughter that would be that old, but
Yeah, I think she went to veterinary school, and he sold some pages and covers them, but he keeps them for rainy days and stuff. I think Chris Somney said something like that too. That's what surprised me when he left Marvel and I saw he was putting pages up. That's when I knew something was up. I was just like, wait a second. He's putting pages up.
I guess all these guys that are younger than me and they have kids that they're buying cars for and stuff, and mine's 7 years old.
Yeah, my son, I was lucky. My wife's boss gave her a car. It was a company car, and they were just going to trash it. It was like a Hyundai Sonata 2008.
Right.
And she was just like, well, my wife was like, well, we'll take it.
Now, let's see. So Lloyd says that we have had over 80 people on Twitter. So he watches on Twitter. So, and then my son, Jacob, who there's this little character called Jevil, who's in this Undertale game he plays.
Yeah.
Says Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah. Let's get it to 1,000. Formerly Rodline says, I think you two underestimate the inspiration and education you provide by letting us watch you work. Thank you very much.
That's very nice.
And then Lloyd again says, most people have their noses glued to the news, which is true.
I can't do that. It's depressing.
I try to just, I'll watch a little bit. I'll maybe check the stats on the coronavirus. Ron will.
He's like it's like the NBA.
Yeah. I'll check.
Coronavirus had like 12 rebounds, 22 points.
Exactly. But I hear a lot from Ron since he's in the medical field.
Bless you, Ron.
Yeah, Ron's out there in the front line.
Her law's a nurse, and she's actually been kind of depressed.
Yeah, Ron's a nurse practitioner, so he's
Ron.
Very valuable right now.
And you're also a good person to put yourself in danger like that for people.
Ron's a great guy. I knew that when I first met him.
I mean, it's people on like my sister-in-law is so worried. Like she doesn't want to see anybody. Like she's just like, I see people every day.
Right.
And especially me, because I have no spleen.
Right.
She's just like, just stay away. Like she won't let anybody like come and see her. And her kids, like if I remember correctly, maybe staying with their father. So yeah, she's just so, but then she's not used to the isolation in the sense that like we are. It takes time.
We've been training for this all our lives.
Yeah. I mean, it's still tough not to see or talk to people.
Oh, I like I said, I'm the one that gets out. I know my wife would like to get out, but I really don't want them running around, because I'm running around. And she thinks I'm like being a paranoid. But I'm like, no, let me run around. I'll be the carrier.
Yeah, my wife is that person. I have to go to the post office today, and she doesn't want me to go inside. I just have to drop packages off. They're already paid for.
Right.
But the problem is one's 11 by 17, which is really 13 by 19 because the envelope's big. And you can't just drop that off in a box.
Nope.
So you have to drop it on most post office. So if you're just dropping off and you don't need a receipt, they'll just you don't have to wait in line. You just be like, hey, I'm dropping this off. And they'll just take it.
You know what? On the oversized stuff, I just have them. If I do the click and ship, I let them double check it to make sure. Yeah, just in case I need a little more postage, I can pay for it there.
You don't weigh it or anything? Do you have a scale?
Yeah, but still, there's always that. I don't know.
Paranoid, John.
Well, because it's the whole mailing thing. People make such a,
Yeah, I don't care. If the only time it's ever come out wrong, they just charged me.
Look, let me tell you, on back in the day when we only had FedEx to mail pages.
Yeah.
Pages that are worth thousands or tens of thousands or even more dollars. We would make the FedEx box, throw them in, and mail them. There wasn't all this like you need 3 inches thick of cardboard on each side and wet protection and all this. And
I do put it in a plastic bag too.
well, and yeah, I get it. That's fine. But see, it's the whole collector mentality now. When we were doing pages and working on them, we just threw them in the box and sent them.
I know that I had a guy tell me that it came fine, but 2 of the corners were dinged, and he showed me a picture. I mean, I almost was like, maybe I did that, just turning the paper.
Right. Yep. I know.
I don't, and even like, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry that happened. And then there's this long break, and I was like, are you expecting me to do something?
Yeah, like refund your money or something.
I was like, are you crazy? Like if you frame it, you don't even see that. And like the work is still, I can't control that. Like I can't. Like if your corner gets like just a little ding, like somebody just kind of pressed on it.
That's why I when I charge for priority mail, it gives you $50 insurance, but if you go more,
it costs more.
It costs more, but I do it because at least they're protected for the full amount.
Oh yeah, I should do that.
Okay, here's the other thing. And I had to do this to somebody because they had the same thing. It came with a little ding corner or a little crease or something, and they showed it to me, and I said, well, it's fully insured. I said, let me get back to you. So I had never had to deal with this before. I asked my friend at the post office, I said, hey, someone I sent some artwork to, it got a little dinged. I said, if they want to do a claim, what do I need to do? She goes, well, we can start that. The sender has to start it. The receiver doesn't.
Yeah, I know that.
The receiver has to return the artwork to the post office. So they lose the art. And it may take them a long, long time to get a refund.
Yeah, it does. I had to do that with UPS. It took, I want to say 4 or 5 months.
Right. So I just, I got back in touch with him. I said, okay, here's what I was just told. I have to start it. If you want to make a claim, you have to return the artwork because the post office needs it. So if you want to go through with that, let me know and send the artwork back to me and I will start the claim process.
That sounds very fair.
But I mean, that's all I can do.
That is all you can do, but that sounds fair to me.
And so he said, well, I think I can live with it. It's not that bad. Because I said, have you tried to iron it out yet?
Yeah, that, and it's paper. Like, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I know.
You can iron out a lot of things, especially if you put like a little like wax paper or something on top of it, like to protect.
Or a towel.
Or a towel, yeah. Because it's just wood. It's pulp. You don't want to mess up, like you don't want to have the steam on or anything. You don't get water.
I mean, like I said, I package a package pretty good, but if the post office wants to damage it, they're going to damage anything. They can put it up they can lean it up against something and put a boot to it if they want to.
I will tell you that no one cares that you put "do not bend" on there.
No, that's
it's almost like they're like, this is just invitation to bend this.
Exactly. It's like, okay.
I don't think they're that malicious, but I'm just saying, don't be surprised.
And that's why I say I am not trying to make money on postage. I'm just trying to cover CYA is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you're making sense to me. But
well, I mean, that's why, people complain. I mean, I get it. Amazon ruined us with free shipping and the return policy they have, but we're not Amazon.
Yeah, I'm not a billionaire. If I was a billionaire, I'd still be drawing comics. I probably would never take another commission, to be honest.
Actually, I think I might just do whatever I want and put it up, for.
Yeah. I like drawing comics, though. I probably I do like doing that. I like telling stories.
Right.
I'm still in that phase. of enjoying the storytelling. But yeah, I would probably just do personal pieces and put them up for sale if I ever had the urge. But that's if I was a billionaire, and that's not reality. I mean, and the thing is, I love the collectors who think of like wonderful things to draw, like
Yeah.
maybe sometimes like this Hulk, 70s Hulk with the shag top and all that. I would
Mhm.
never draw that on my own. But this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That Evangelion, the EVA-01, probably never would have drawn that.
No.
But since somebody commissioned it, man, I had a lot of fun doing that one too. But in the same sense, those people who commission those are super nice.
Oh yeah. No, I
Not
know.
everybody shares that disposition.
Right. I found that there's, I would say for every 20 or 30 people that are real polite, you get that one person that, can be a pain. And boy, that's what really makes you rethink your whole, the way you do business,
Yeah, you almost go like, I have thought about it, been like, oh, you know what? It's just not worth this headache. And and that's sad that one person will ruin it for everyone.
Mhm.
But it's a sad reality when you're the only one having to deal with it.
I know it.
Like, of course, you're like, oh man, why would you do that? Well, you don't have to deal with that person, and it's not just that person. There's like 10 other dudes who are just like that,
Right.
or ladies. Either way, I will say for every 100 people, there's probably one or two.
And they can ruin it for everybody.
But the thing is, they're so extremely horrible.
I know, but that's why I said that's why my policies are like I said. I didn't know what it was when that guy was like, "Hey, this came a bit bent," and I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that. I can look into, it's fully covered in insurance. I can look into it if you want me to." And so he said, "Yeah." And
See, you just got a notification because I just posted something.
that's right. See?
Yeah, see, you're stalking me, John. I'm a little scared. No.
You should be. See, and I gave you your first like on that.
Oh, did you give me my first?
Yeah.
Boom.
But yeah, no, it's really sad because, I wrote the guy and he said, "Yeah, see what you can do," and I think he thought he would get his money back plus keep the piece. And when they told me what had to happen,
that would not happen either way.
well, I didn't know. I'd never had to actually.
Like, even if you didn't have the insurance, if I'm giving the money back, that comes back to me.
Well, I think if they give the money, if the post, I think the post.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if you did give him money back, then he has to mail that back to you.
Oh yeah, because it was so minuscule, I could barely see it on the picture he took.
That's just fair. I mean, there are times where I've told people to keep it, like where it wasn't even a piece that was bent. They were just disappointed in it because they felt like I didn't put the details that I normally put in there. Mm-hmm. And in actuality, the piece I did for them, I did with no line work. I did it all like I painted it, but with markers was a lot harder than doing it with line work. It was a process. Let me tell you that. It actually took me probably twice as long to do. But he didn't like it, and I felt bad. He didn't ask me to do another one, but I felt bad, and I've done it on occasion where I'm just like, okay, I'll just keep that one as an I'm sorry, and I'll do you another one.
Yep.
But that's a difference. Right? He wasn't mean, nor was he was very nice, but he was just like, I just wanted to be honest with you, and I'm like, dude, that's totally fine. And he wasn't mean about it. He wasn't like, you gave me crap. He was just like, I'm just kind of disappointed in what I got. And I'm like, oh, all right.
When I first started doing this, I was doing like some free sketches just to kind of grow my channel.
Yeah.
And I know one guy got a free drawing and it came to him. Free everything. I sent him out free. I drew him free. and it came to him with like, it looked like somebody had literally put a pen or pencil through the top and there was a hole. So he sent me a photo of it. Now this was, keep in mind, it was a completely free drawing, but I went ahead and redrew it and sent him a replacement because I felt like, I felt like that's what I needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to play them all by.
Because he was nice about it. He was just saying, hey, he didn't ask for a replacement or he wasn't complaining. He was just like showing to me. He goes, look, somebody had to do this on purpose. Because it really was. It was like someone took a ballpoint pen and stuck it through. It was almost like a perfect circle. But it wasn't perfect, but it.
Yeah. You could tell it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, it was like somebody just jammed a pin in it.
And that happened. That's why I always protect it on both sides. But if somebody really jammed it, it won't matter. It'll just go through. I'm gonna pull out some white paper. Weird.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do on some white paper?
Somebody bought, because right when I finished that Evangelion, I put that I had the opening again, and somebody bought a black and white Hawkeye smirking.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So now that one is done, and I already finished, because that one's see. Here's how I do it. I do one daily that's new, which is that's if I get it, and that's presumptuous of me that I would get it. But so far, the past 2 days, I've gotten it. So one is the new one, and then one that I owe, which was that Hulk one, which is an old one, like I told you, from like 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I try only do one new one, one old one, and then I work on pages. And then once I reach one page worth, I do one old one, one new one. But since I'm on with you and I have this Huon on a stand now, like, I can't put it on camera. So I can't work on pages, but I can work on a drawing. So I am going to grab a white piece of paper, which is, like I said, very strange for me because I don't think I've worked on white paper in a while.
Is it from the Canson pad?
I'm no. This is actually because it's the piece of paper next to me.
Okay,
it's kind of jacked up. I'm not going to use that one. I am going to use some Strathmore because I bought like 4 pads of it when we thought we would have time to do.
I'm still waiting on those.
Yeah, I know you are. That's what I'm saying.
I think we could sell those in your store pretty quick.
I think
so. Or something. You send them to me, and I'll handle the rest.
I have a lot of Strathmore Bristol. I bought 4 packs. So
hey, so your routine again was you do one new piece.
Yes, usually that's if I get it. If somebody orders a new piece in the day, which is from my store.
So you want to get that done within a day or two,
so I can offer another one the next day.
Right.
So I've already finished my one from yesterday. This will be the one from today. So I may be doing 2. Well, if I get another one today, I'll probably wait till tomorrow to do it.
Since you're gonna sketch, I'm gonna go to Solo Layout U.
Okay. Oh, there we go. I got to figure out in my head if I want to do this with a regular pencil or red pencil.
It's gonna be black and white, right?
Yeah. So either way is all right. Yeah. So I got to decide which one to do. Let me see. I'm also standing up because I've been sitting down for so long. Yep, there we go. We're going red pencil.
I have also noticed at a lot of times when Brian is watercoloring and stuff, it can still freezes. He stands up at the table to watercolor a lot. He'll sit down, but he'll also stand up while he's doing some stuff too.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying one of those tables from IKEA that raise on their own.
I have one of those, but my computer's on it.
Oh yeah. See, I'm gonna put my monitor on it.
Right. See, I thought what I would do is get in the habit of standing up. Actually, you know what? When I was having back problems, that felt so good to stand up and be able to answer emails and do anything I needed to on the computer because I could not sit down. That's what was killing my back. Standing and walking felt good. Sitting and actually laying down was okay. Sitting was the worst part.
Yeah, see, I was always I was good when I hurt my back. I can sit. Laying down is probably the best, but only in certain positions.
Well, the bad thing about laying down is getting up because then it hurts again. Yeah, yeah. I had to kind of, like I said, I would roll off and then walk up the wall.
1 second.
Jacob, are you still out there? Haven't heard him. He's probably abandoned me. I love that little kid. I swear he's.
Let me see. Okay. My son is going to go pick up his girlfriend. I just got to make sure he comes back so I can pick up my wife's car whenever it gets done. Because they're doing like a airbag recall thing.
Right.
And then just standard maintenance, oil change, tire rotation.
I need to have that done. And I should probably get it done during this time when people are probably not getting car care done.
I know. That's why my wife did it. It was. We would have done it yesterday, but she didn't get off in time. But it was horribly dead yesterday.
My son, because before this whole COPA or COPPA or whatever they call it, I let him do a few streams, and he wants to stream so bad, and I'm telling him, you really can't, Jacob. And there are some kids where their parents do it, but it's like with them, but I don't even know, he can't set up an account under his own,
Yeah.
And I think I have to literally be there with him, like at all times. I don't know. It's so complicated.
Yeah, it's because if he's under 13, I mean,
yep,
that's a law thing.
Oh yeah, it's.
I know a lot of kids under 13 that have them. Not that I know them personally, but I'm saying I know it is the thing that happens.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean it's right. Like if they get their parents get in trouble, not the kids.
Right.
So, I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal. But it is if you get in trouble for it.
Yes, it
is. So it's like you got to weigh the. Is it worth it? Then okay, but if it's not,
well, that's why I try to explain to him. I'm not sure that I can't get in trouble, even if I'm there with him.
I know that one toy kid. He's like 7 or 8. A billionaire toy kid or millionaire toy kid, the YouTube kid.
Yeah,
his parents they're the ones who film him.
Right.
So there's no trouble there because that kid's a millionaire.
But see, that's what Jacob wants me to do is be there with him while he's streaming or recording.
Yeah.
And I guess it's okay, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know really. My son wants to do it, but I told him he's got to get his kind of his act, like what he's like, his gimmick, like whatever he's gonna do.
Yeah, I've kind of tried to
don't wing it
and let him know that he needs to have like an idea, down. I mean, like we're drawing so we can just kind of be spontaneous.
Yes.
But for the other stuff, they have to have almost like a script or an idea to go off of.
Yeah.
Or what
in a format, some kind of, because unlike us, like you said, we can wing it.
Right.
If you're doing something that's informative or entertaining for that purpose, I feel like you should know what you're doing instead of just going, whoa, and like that only works for one episode, right? Like then after that, what do you do? You can't do it again, then people stop watching, right?
Right.
So I just want to quickly get something down.
And this is going to be Hawkeye, you said?
Yeah, eventually.
His mask used to always give me trouble.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Oh, I remember it, but then I don't.
Yeah, no, and then he's got the H in the middle with the
Here, let's look it up so I can at least start incorporating that.
Oh, I hear some birds outside there.
Yeah, I had an owl that used to hang out on my window, little baby owl.
Yeah, I like the sounds of the outside like that.
Yeah, I'm really close to the water, the ocean. So, I of course have to have flood insurance. Which
Yes,
sucks. It's so expensive. But that goes into my house payment. So,
good morning, AG. We have been streaming for 3 hours now.
you have to stop soon, don't you? Isn't there a limit?
At 4 hours it stops recording, but it'll continue on. But
Streaming. Yeah.
It just won't record after 4 hours, is what I finally read, because I was like looking at what the next tier up was, because I, like you, I went back and I'm like, do I really need to pay for this? Can I get by with the Stream Duck thing? Because hey, $25 right now is $25.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, well, I'll do one more month and see if it's, but then I don't know. I'll see how partially the Patreon thing might help me pay just for the, offset the cost of the streaming stuff. Because I do want to do more streaming, and I do have some commissions that I want to stream, but sometimes, as you well know, there's certain parts, like maybe what you're doing now. For me, I kind of like to draw in solitude where I'm not streaming.
Yeah, most of the time I do too. I agree. Like, I do most of the time as well. It's like you get to work out all your mistakes without like having someone over your shoulder.
Right.
Yeah, but it is
Hey,
what.
Hyper Potato.
Huh?
Hyper Potatoes in. Owls are cool. They kill snakes. Snakes are not cool. Some snakes are cool.
Not for me. Keep them on that side of the fence. Dumb snakes. Looking all creepy. And I know they're not bad, but man, they freak me out. That I don't fear a lot of things, but snakes. Ugh. Gross. Okay.
I actually I lost connection. I don't think you did though, Drew.
Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, I don't see you.
How about you should see me now.
I do see you.
Yeah. No,
Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just got zonked out.
So usually.
See, that's a good idea, because I do have some commissions that I need to do, and I have some that are like fairly newer. So I'm thinking that's a good thing to like do one that's a couple months old.
Yeah, I'm a very much order guy. Like I have to come up with routines, and if one's not working, I change it. I'm not married to one, but
Right.
like as my work changes, as it does often, I come up with new things that work for me.
Right.
Sometimes
the only thing sometimes for me is I like to get something finished.
Yes.
Because if I don't, I think that's what you had said one time too. If you don't get it finished, sometimes it's hard to get back to it.
It is. That's why I always set small goals.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get something, if I can get something penciled to where I can go to inks, I'm okay with leaving that there.
Yeah. Well, and also I have this book, which is pretty empty now. I have a stack now, but usually I have this 9x12 book, because most of them are 9x12. I think I have a couple 11x17s. and I'll put them in this book. Like this is a finished one, and there's 2 finished ones in there. But usually I can look at this book and I can see what's penciled, what's inked, and
Is that stuff that I noticed you had a finished one? Is that something you got to mail out or?
yeah, it's something I have to mail out. But I usually keep my finish. I have this like boxes. I have boxes organized on bookshelves.
Right.
Most of the finished stuff usually goes there. I just haven't had an opportunity to put it in, but unfinished stuff is what stays in there. Usually it's finished stuff that I haven't put in the finished box. And then I go through the finished box, and once a week I mail them all out. At least the ones that I can, I don't know, that are ready to go. Like some people, theirs get done and they go, oh, I want another one. Can you hold that one? One person, that Evangelion, he told me to hold it because he's not trying to have mail come to his house right now.
Right. I was going to say, I know it's like if somebody contacts me and they want to order a second commission, I just tell them, yeah, I said, if you want to wait, I haven't started yours yet, but if you want to wait, you don't send anything for postage because I can put it all together.
That's what I do too. It saves us all, and plus it saves me a trip.
Right.
Post office. Here we go.
And then I do have a few people that say, I'm in no rush. So if you want to put me like, and they've paid, they've actually paid. They're like, no hurry. I can wait. Now, sometimes those people are not what they appear, as you know, if you've ever had it.
It's not. They really want you to get it done today.
Well, I don't know, though. I have a few that are really good about, they never bother me about it. It's like, and then when I get to them, I always remember that, and it's like if I can put something extra in, I do. But for me, it's hard because I pretty much only have one level unless I'm doing a real quick drawing. I don't like to do those because I'm not that good at them. It's like they really show a lot of errors.
With the quick signature sketches?
Yeah, well, yeah, or just a quick sketch here. I'd rather do the more finished stuff and take my time.
Okay.
Because there's some people that put down 4 lines and they can do something and, it looks okay, but then, you give them 2 hours or 3 hours and you get a masterpiece.
That's true.
That type of thing.
I mean, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses too. And sometimes being put on the spot isn't indicative to the best work.
No, I kind of like to be able to rough a head. If it's a head sketch, I like to rough it out. And if I can let it sit for a while and just come back to it, I might see something that is off or something.
Yeah.
And then change it. Because, if I go right into inks and then it's wrong, it's like, it sometimes will bug me so bad I'll redo it anyway, because it's like, man, why didn't I see that before I inked it? Suddenly when it's inked, it's like staring me right in the face, like a beacon.
Yeah, that happens to me with colors sometimes. I'll notice inks I missed because I'm coloring and I go, oh, I should have put that hard shadow there, or I could have done another light source here. And then sometimes I forget to do it, even after I see it, because I'm too busy coloring. Sometimes I just take a picture of it, and then in that picture I see the problem, and then I fix it. But yeah, it's really like we should have, or most of us have, like a set process, and when something disrupts that, it tends to kind of throw everything off.
Yeah, well, this whole COVID-19 thing has thrown a lot of process off.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, not even in just, truthfully, and maybe I'm just being ignorant, but I'm not really afraid of it. For me, for me personally, I'm not really worried about it, whether I get it or not. I'm not terribly worried. Now, that might be just because I don't know. I haven't been tested, so maybe I do have it, maybe I don't. But my thought process is I don't have it, so I'm not worried about it. But if I get it, I might be over in the corner crying. But it's not a death sentence, But anyway, but it affects me in the fact that, I concern myself with, should I be going out knowing that I could get it and bring it back home to my family?
Well, yeah, that's a problem. And like you said, it's really specific to who you are. Like I have asthma
Right.
and no spleen. So I got like 2 strikes against me if I get it. I've had pneumonia like a few times. I want to say at least 5 or 6 times. And one time I was hospitalized for it for 2.5 weeks. And I also don't want to bring it home to my wife and kids. And they are super cautious with me, as in, like they won't let me go anywhere, which sucks in a way.
Yeah.
Like I need to go to the post office, but my wife couldn't go today, but I need to get there. So I got to ask my son to go in because she said if I go in myself, pretty much she's going to kick my butt. So, and I believe her, like she'll at least try. So I don't want that to happen. So I got to ask him to go in for me. So I don't know. It's it's definitely complicated my life way more than I want it to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like I said, I'm not sitting here being a nervous Nelly about it, but I understand that, if something does happen to me, it affects everybody I'm around.
Sure.
So I'm more concerned about them.
It's precarious at best. Did I do it again?
Do what again?
Okay. I thought I hit the thing again.
No, you're okay.
It is precarious at best. It's like at least like the only time I have like a problem when people's take on it when they're just like, I just don't care. Is that it's like, well, you should care because it's not just about you. Everybody has a different situation, and it's not that you'll get it, because if you don't care, then I'm sure I don't care if you get it. It's who you're gonna affect.
Right.
That's a big deal, and like I would love for this to stop. And the only way we can get this to stop is if people stop getting it. Or at least slow it down to where it's not terrifying.
Well, and the only way to do that is for people to quit interacting with other people for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I've done that, but I told my wife it doesn't matter because no one else did it. So
right.
If I go out, it's just like day one again. Like,
yeah.
I haven't seen anybody. I haven't left my house essentially. Other than I went to my parents' house in 2 weeks. It's been 14 days today. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because no one else in this area, not no one, but a lot of people are still out and about doing their thing. So it doesn't matter that I've isolated. Like, if no one else does it, it just doesn't matter. I think that's the message some people are trying to convey. Like stop. Like, the more you go out and do this, the longer we all have to isolate. And it's affecting my life.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
well, I think for me, I'm going to start because working on my kitchen table is very limiting to say the least.
Yeah.
I don't have enough room there, and it's, but I think what I'm going to have to start doing is kind of like what you're doing already for a lot of it is do digital pencils on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least with that, I can sit on the couch or wherever and it's comfortable. I don't know. Just sitting at the kitchen table for me is not comfortable. It's,
Yeah, I was telling you before when we had Jared on, it's weird drawing flat.
yeah.
Like I just don't do it most of the time. Either I have it's things are propped up and I can do this, So when it's flat like this, it is inking's different for me. I can ink flat because all the work's done.
Right.
But like actually draw like this has been really awkward.
Well, see, it hurts my back also to work flat.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I haven't had it. I haven't had any.
Well, like I said, I didn't either till those. And I'm gonna have to blame the conventions.
Those sons of bitches. No,
because it's like when you're working flat, the way you have to crick your neck and stuff down. It's like
you're punching.
Yeah,
that's never good for you, right?
Never. If Dr. Kaz was in the room, he would explain it.
What kind of doctor is Dr. Kaz?
He is a chiropractor.
Oh man, so he's not a no. I was gonna mess with him, but I'm not gonna do that. I need somebody to crack my back. I've never had it done, but
he really doesn't do the cracking.
Oh yeah.
I met him at the Atlanta show.
Yeah.
And he did this thing with like a little hammer.
Oh yeah.
Tapping my neck vertebrae into place. And he also had this thing like, I don't know, it was like some sort of a thing. He got it like literally Home Depot or something that was it was like it was like a thumping thing. But he knows the right places to put it like around the shoulder blade and stuff. And man, it was like I had that, here,
I'm gonna raise the camera.
Yeah, he gave us adjustments for like 3 days, and all 3 days it was great.
Really cool.
Oh yeah, because you were like your neck's already, back out, right? And he would just, are you gonna?
I can't hear you. Hello, it's me now. See. My dog here. Yeah, John says he lost connection. Means it later. I'm sure John